Obscured State of Michigan podcast.
Yeah, like it's Sudafed. Yeah, isn't it Sudafed for meth? That's why they thought Trump was on it, because he had that like drawer full of Sudafed.
Oh,
but wouldn't that mean like he's making his own meth? Like he has enough money; he doesn't need to make his own meth.
No, you just buy it.
He just buy it and brings
Just
it.
pay somebody to make it.
Right. Like that seems dumb to me.
Trump Towers of meth.
Or maybe he just wanted to make sure he would be able to get his meth. So he's like, "No, I have Sudafed.
Right.
Like you don't need to get it. I have it."
You got to stockpile it.
Right.
Well, if you get a good enough chemist, you don't need Sudafed at all. There's better ways. Yeah. You need some solid iodine. It's hard to get.
See.
Okay.
I'll try it back.
So with these mics, you really gotta like talk into them.
Okay.
Yes.
But they do. But they move. So if you want to move it back and forth, whatever.
I'll try and pull away from the microphone.
That's where you're
if I need to
comfortable.
burp.
Make sure.
Oh yeah.
Does that go up a little bit? The
Huh?
seat, the little.
I'm going to be upset if that's not a sound effect on your little board
Oh,
there.
it does.
You got to have the who, yeah.
Oh, it's because I'm short. My feet barely touch the ground.
Weedy and the butt.
What?
And you're good there.
I'm good there.
That's perfect.
I can see me.
That's perfect. It's perfection.
Yoink.
Right.
I made sure to wear my loudest shirt.
It's very, very, very
bright and shiny.
anti-loud.
I could take it off and just have no shirt. I'll probably do that at some point.
Just do that.
Hey.
I feel like it'll cut to me. I'll have no shirt on. It'll cut back later, and I'll have it on again.
Yeah. Nope.
Shit's getting wild.
Yep. We'll end up pulling out the Harry the Blowfish again
That's right.
on the screen. I'll have me taking a shower on screen as well, and we can have a repeat of last time.
Show 'em my new addition.
New addition to the family. Yeah.
I've been working on this. You don't just wake up with a body like this.
No, you don't. You just take some work.
You gotta earn it.
You gotta earn that shit. That's many, many calories without many
You know how
burned.
many goddamn Trulies I had to drink?
That's part of the, dude, honestly, that's part of the problem with a lot of people that say they're like on a diet or something. They say they're like eating a strict meal regimen, but they're still drinking like Budweisers and stuff every weekend, like 12 packs or every day. Like you don't realize how many fucking calories are in those.
Well,
And besides, diets don't work.
one of the things that misleads people with drinking things like White Claws and Trulies is that it's not the calories that are actually contained in the drink. It's the alcohol itself, because alcohol is metabolized into sugars, and then the sugars.
Yeah. Well, doesn't alcohol like originally? Isn't it just like made from sugar?
I
Some
mean,
sort of like
alcohol's
broken down.
sugar rings when they're open are alcohols. So when you're going through metabolism, they will become sugars, and then those sugars will be later turned into fats.
Into fats. So it's not
They'll
even
either
just
be
the
burned-
calories, it's just the alcohol in general.
Alcohol in
So
general.
any alcohol, right. Yeah, well, I wasn't going to say like, oh, I'm drinking Bud Light, so I'm good. Like, no, like you're still like,
That's a lot of sugar your body's making.
Yep.
making to go like, so your body's making more sugars when you drink alcohol?
It's, yeah.
Because it's converting it all?
It's converted into sugars
Because it's
first.
all, okay, yeah, so
And
so it's all
there's-
converted.
And then if you're not immediately, burning off calories and using that glucose, because that's what it'll be turned into, is I don't remember precisely which sugars. It'll be either, I'm assuming glucose. It's turned into glucose, and then the glucose will either be used to make energy or it'll be stored as fat.
Right.
So
yeah, if you're not, so then if you're not active, I guess, then
Yeah.
it's just going to make it worse.
pretty much.
Right.
So
Yeah. So you say diets don't work. So you just say just focus more on the exercising part.
Exercising and eating like what is right for you, basically. Now,
Right.
I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a
Right.
dietitian. But if you have a fast metabolism,
Yeah.
then obviously going on a diet's probably not a good idea. But I'm referring to like the fad diets and even
Yeah.
the keto diet. You can't do that long
Right.
term.
Well, diet
you know?
diet is a broad term because diet could just be your diet. What is
Correct.
your diet? You know.
Right.
You know,
Well,
your diet could just be like I eat
there's-
lots of meats and like I like, you know, that's what I like. For snacks, I eat.
Atkins.
For snacks, I eat beef jerky. You know, like that's your diet.
There's been billions of dollars spent on propaganda to push people, away from certain things like fats. But
Right.
fats aren't turned into fat. Sugars are turned into fat. Carbohydrates are sugars. So breads, things like that. Anything that's a carbohydrate, those get turned directly into sugars in your body.
Yeah. Did they
So-
ever retransfigure the food pyramid?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen a food
Look that up,
pyramid
John. See if
since
there
I
is
was-
like a new food pyramid because they were supposed to like go through and like try to redo that
Yeah.
because
They
wasn't it
have-
on the
It was-
bottom?
it was-
Isn't the bottom like grains?
all
Yeah,
grains.
grains
You know,
and
it's like that's
protein.
not
Massive
good.
amount.
Well,
Like,
they
he's just
have
sitting
the
there
My
eating
Plate
bread.
model. They have the My Plate model.
My plate.
Yeah.
So is it like a circle?
Yeah.
Circular
and
model?
there's like a specific section for each of the food groups.
So it's like a pie
It's like-
graph,
yeah,
basically.
kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah. Instead
It
of
shows
the
different
food
proportions.
pyramid, it's the food. It's the plate.
I mean,
the dinner
Grains and
plate.
meat
circle
are
makes
most
more sense than the
important.
triangle
Not.
because, like, the way they cut it apart, it's hard to tell what percentage is. And with the pie chart, it's much easier to read visually.
Yeah, it is.
So,
Because you can percentage it too,
yeah,
that
I
way.
mean, you can kind of roughly guesstimate your proportions that way, but
Yeah.
triangles are not a good system.
It's just not a good system. Yeah, like at all.
No.
Who
And,
thought
like,
of that?
That's,
Look that up next. Who
Who
the
developed
who
the
the
food
fuck
pyramid?
was the asshole
Yeah, that's the
that made a food pyramid? All right, fruits, grains, vegetables. They still have grains like awfully high.
I mean,
just don't-
really,
I mean,
they did cut down on the dairy part, which is good. It looks like fruits.
oh,
yeah.
there's dairy. I didn't even see it over there in
Yeah.
the cup.
I mean, fruits contain a lot of sugar, but they do have fiber. Vegetables are great because they have protein, they have fiber, they have
different
vitamins,
kinds
they
of
have
protein,
minerals.
but like you said, there's different kinds of sugar and there's like
Right.
different kinds of protein and
Right.
stuff too. It gets so
Well,
confusing when you start breaking everything down. You're
there's
like, wait a minute.
there's
And
I
this
think
is
How many
why
different
we're
kinds of
chemistry
protein?
teachers.
there's 11 essential amino acids that you need, and if you have them all, you can make all 21 that you need, which make amino acids are the building blocks of proteins.
So if
So-
you have all 11, then you can make, or if you
Which-
have 11 of them, you can make all 21 that you need.
Yes,
All the
they can be
different proteins?
synthesized. All the different amino acids.
Okay.
There's so many proteins. All your hormones.
But it all
and
breaks
everything
down
is-
to amino acids.
Yeah, amino acids. There's 21. There's many more than 21. There's 21 that we use in our body.
In our body. Okay.
Yeah. And
But from these
Fun
11,
fact,
these 11 though, they can like combine or do whatever to make these other ones.
you can synthesize the other ones. Eggs actually contain all 11. So like if you have something that you really need to be like
Eggs do have
yeah,
all 11.
they are really
Okay.
like the best. I mean,
I
they
love
are
eggs.
higher. They are higher in
Scrambled.
cholesterol.
Or
Scrambled
over hard.
over hard. Really, you don't like no yolk.
Sunny
I'm
side
not
up
a
to the
fan.
butt.
Ooh, not sunny side up. That means you don't flip it.
It's a texture thing for me.
gotta-
Like
runny.
if it's
Wet.
slightly cooked milk, gooey.
Yeah, you better get up in that mic. You want to talk over him.
But yeah,
It's a texture thing, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah, it
sometimes
is.
even scrambled eggs are rough for me. It depends on like how they're
Really?
seasoned.
Oh, so
But I'm a
scramble
fan
your
of
eggs.
over hard, break the yolk, cook it all the way through. But once in a while, he'll undercook it just slightly, and it's okay. You win. You know.
yeah, you got to dip the toast in it. or
Yeah, that's
something.
right.
Some of that grain.
Sop that shit up.
No.
Yeah, dude. That's what I
best
love
way.
to
It's
do.
so
Yeah, I just break the yolk with the toast. Just
I usually go with
Wow.
over easy most of the time. I do want just a little
Won't do
bit.
it.
just a little bit.
a little bit cooked over the
Just a little
yolk.
bit. What about hard boiled?
Yes.
I do like me a good hard boiled egg.
Yeah, but
Deviled eggs.
deviled
Yes,
eggs.
please.
Yeah, I was gonna say you bring it
Yeah.
a step further with the deviled egg.
I wouldn't eat a dozen hard boiled eggs, but
Made
I
with
would eat a
horseradish
dozen
mustard?
deviled eggs
Yes, please.
any day.
Or spicy brown
when I was
mustard.
oh
yes,
yeah
please.
when I was struggling to like eat like good in the morning before work because I had to work so early,
Right.
and I'd be like, "Fuck, I don't even want to have time. I want to sleep until I gotta go." You know,
Right.
hard boiled eggs, dude. I just
They're-
have like 2
Throw
of them
some
in the
salt on
morning.
it, eat
Yeah,
on the way to
boom.
work.
I'm like, I just had 2 eggs
It's
for
really
breakfast.
like the best way
Great.
to start your day. You know, you get like an egg and you drink some orange juice because the
Orange juice, yeah,
vitamin C will help you uptake those amino acids,
right.
and then you get all your amino acids, and those are what's going to give you your energy for the day.
Since like right when COVID went and took off, we've just been supplementing vitamin C all the time too. You just
Don't overdo it.
you
Drink
know.
that orange juice.
I mean, most vitamins, you know, you'll just kind of piss it out. Like if you kind of eat a little too much, it'll just come out in your pee.
There's a lot
So
of
it's kinda hard to
misconceptions with
OD on
food
it.
stuff. Well, the problem with eating too many vitamins is that
If you're just like eating
your
like
kidneys
candy.
have to filter all that stuff out,
Right.
and then you overwork your kidneys and can lead to things like kidney failure. That's like
Right.
one of the problems with energy drinks that have like 400% of your daily intake of vitamins. People who drink a bunch of those every day can have really serious kidney problems.
So it wasn't even the energy drink; it's just the amount of vitamins that's in each energy drink.
Yep, an
Yep.
unnecessary amount, like just
Why? Why do they put? Because they think
it's
well
the
they think well it's
caffeine.
just you're only supposed to drink one.
most people.
Not my fault
well,
to
they
drink
put
5.
the warning label, don't ingest more than like 1 a day, but it's like,
People
who
Most
reads
people
the
buy
fine
don't
print all
have
the time?
like a really
They advertise it
solid
3 for
understanding
whatever
of, like,
however many price or whatever. I don't know how much they cost. I don't drink them.
That's the thing, like, well, your average person doesn't have like a really solid grasp over like scientific concepts, especially things in like biology, anatomy, physiology.
Right.
So
Most of
There's
the time
this
with
kind
that,
of
I just
mindset,
know like
it's
there's
like-
people that know more than me
There's
about
this-
like that.
there's this
So-
mindset where it's like, well, 1 is good, so like 2 is better, right?
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
not always the case. Like,
Well, it's people can't just take their 2 for whatever, their 3 for whatever deal, and
Yeah.
just put one, put the rest in the refrigerator for, the
Right.
rest of the
And-
week. Drink
and
1 a day.
there's a ton of
It's so
sugar,
good. You're like,
and
"Ah."
nothing is more addictive than sugar. So like,
Oh, yeah,
they
dude.
become addictive, and like,
Yeah. We got a
Yeah.
bowl of candy like Halloween or anything like that.
It's
I'm like,
gone in
we
2
got to
weeks.
fucking, we got to get rid of it. Or else I just, every time I walk by, I'm like,
just grab something, you know.
little Kit Kat. Little Kit Kat.
Just a little guy.
And go back up through. Oh, just get a little,
Yep.
just little Reese's here.
Give me a Reese's pumpkin, which are
Once
the
in a
best.
while, I'll leave
The Reese's
jar.
eggs, Reese's pumpkins are the fucking perfect.
It's like, they're not eating it. Let's see, are there any Milky Ways? Oh, there's
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I pick out my favorite. Yes.
This. No.
You guys get all the Hershey Kisses. Just leave those.
Hey, don't diss Hershey Kisses.
Oh, man.
Those are fantastic.
There's so many more little
All right.
candy bars I'd rather have. Like if I'm going to like trick or treating, they
Give me
give me
those
some
fucking
Hershey
Crackle bars
Kisses.
that you can-
Come on.
Has anybody ever seen a full-size Crackle bar? I never have. I always see at my Halloween little tiny ones, but I've never seen a big one.
Crackle?
Yeah, the
Yeah, I've
Crackle.
never seen a big.
It's like
Wow,
it's like the
that's
Hershey
fucking
version of
interesting.
Nestle Crunch. They only exist in tiny form.
Hey John, look up who made the food pyramid though. I want to see that. I still want to see like what a guy's
Don't
name
overeat your sugars, kids.
was. Yeah. Crackle's
Fats and
on top
oils.
of it then. They're like, no, just little pieces.
you go.
Just little pieces.
Just a tease.
One
Just give you a
serving.
taste.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. I mean, you see large size Mr. Goodbar and all the other
Yeah.
ones.
But
It's a
yet,
good
if
round.
the higher percentage of pure cacao that you have in the candy bar,
Cacao.
supposedly it's better
Cacao.
for you.
Cacao.
It's like I've had 80% cacao chocolate bars, and they actually, if you can handle dark chocolate, they're
I
fantastic.
freaking hate dark chocolate.
But
Get
it
that shit
it
out
goes
of
so
here.
good with
I do
caramel.
like me. I like me a good dark chocolate.
Yeah, maybe it's because I've only really had like a Hershey's dark chocolate, just a
Yeah.
dark
Hershey's
chocolate.
ain't got shit. Okay, you
So-
need to like
so it
go to a
immediately turned
health
me
food
off
store
with
and
dark
look-
chocolate.
and look up their candy bars.
In Sweden?
The Swedes did
Sweden.
The Swedes did it.
The government decided to create a special committee giving the task of evaluating if it were possible to put together nutritionally balanced meals at a reasonable cost. Still haven't figured that out. This doesn't say who, though. Saying the FDA did?
The fucking FDA
Yeah,
is
fucking
behind
FDA.
this.
You should
Fucking-
look up who
fucking
invented
bastards.
cornflakes and why. Former
look that up.
eugenicist.
How do you feel about masturbation?
Which also
I eat
had
my
something to do
cornflakes
with
every morning.
cornflakes.
Keeps me from jerking off.
John Kellogg, right? Is that right?
Yep.
Now, why did he invent them?
Oh, why?
He's a eugenicist if you look over at the Wikipedia article. Basically creating the perfect race.
Really?
Yeah, that's what eugenics was based on.
He was director of the Battle Creek Sanitarium.
Yep. And that's where he invented cornflakes, I think.
Wow. Originally made with wheat. So what is it made? Corn? Well, I mean, what is it made of now? Where he worked with John Kellogg, who was the superintendent.
Dark history.
Came from a need to create a breakfast food which would counter indigestion. Oh, is that like an actual thing? Did they like use cornflakes for indigestion, like if you had heartburn and stuff?
Wasn't there
Could
another
be an
one?
experiment
Now
to try.
look up cornflakes and heart and indigestion.
There was another one.
What if we just started eating a bowl of fucking cornflakes every morning? Like, I need fucking Tums. Thank you, you fucking eugenicist guy.
We gotta look up which cereal was invented to prevent masturbation. There was one of them that was.
What?
It was for the real thing.
They worsen
they're
it.
considered acidic.
So it
it's
can
just
worsen
not
it.
gonna do anything.
So it did the opposite effect of what
Yes.
they were trying to do. Yeah, that's stuff. That,
Hooray for little history lessons.
Yay.
Go gadget
Any
Google.
kind of indigestion sucks. Like heartburn, man. Sometimes I feel like you're fucking like.
Back in the day
The
when I
older
was having...
going
like
on?
the worse it is too. I gotta
Yeah,
keep,
I feel like I'm
Tums on
dying
me.
sometimes.
Have
like,
you ever
holy
had a
shit.
gallbladder attack?
No.
I've never been
That
attacked
it
by a
starts-
gallbladder.
My wife's had hers removed.
Yeah, I had to get mine removed. The pain starts in the right side of your body, then it travels into your chest and then into your back. It doesn't matter what position you lay in, you cannot get comfortable.
That just sounds
I
like when
almost
we have
passed
sex.
out. I got nothing.
To you, sir. Touche. Anyway. Yeah.
Giggity.
Yeah. But any position, you just can't get comfortable.
Just
It
Yeah.
hurts.
It just hurts.
It just fucking hurts. It just hurts, man.
Nothing beats almost passing out while
I
curled
don't-
around the toilet on Christmas
You might be
Eve.
doing it wrong.
And there was no alcohol involved.
No alcohol, yeah.
No.
Damn it.
There should always be alcohol involved.
Any kind of function, family function, or
Well,
anything
certain
like that.
things don't function as good if you're drinking, I guess.
Can confirm.
So I've been told.
Yeah. So you've been told. Yeah. So what do we got going on here? So what we got?
Well,
we
you
got,
pulled me in here.
we got-
We're supposed to talk
we got
about
paranormal
photography.
stuff. We got clothing stuff going on. We got
Normal stuff.
normal stuff. Now I forgot what I was going to say there because you said normal. So normal stuff. So what do we got going on inside this brain
modeling
of yours
photography?
here? What's going
Yeah.
on? The photography stuff. What's going on?
Well,
Nude modeling.
Nude modeling.
Oh, that's what's going on in my mind.
Sorry.
well, what do you want me to say? I mean, you ask questions, I answer the things.
What do you?
Why?
Why?
So I would say, like, especially
Thank you,
with
co-host.
Well, actually, I got into modeling because I was working retail at the time, and I had never worked with clothing or anything prior to that job. So coming, like, because I used to work at Hot Topic
Okay.
way
So
back
he's
in the
like-
day.
Back in the day when it was cool.
Yeah,
It's like, you should
exactly.
take those off.
But they would tell me, okay, go dress the mannequins. I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So with a
Yeah.
little bit of guidance, they're like, that actually looks really good.
Some
So
little bit of
whenever,
guidance, skater boy going on in the background.
or new rave or whatever the craze was at the time, if it wasn't Scene Kids, it was trying to bring back like techno things. So
That was like Abercrombie and Finch, I think.
yeah, it was.
I used to go
You
stand
want-
outside. My fucking mohawk.
Immediately you're judged as soon as you walk into that place. I
It's
hate
like,
walking
I forgot
in
my
there.
glow sticks. What's going on? Hey.
I'd walk in there and I'm like, why does everybody want to buy clothes that has the same thing said on it?
Nobody in here's ever been to a rave.
Not to mention
Not
the
one of
body
you.
image issues some of the advertisements would give you. Like, if you don't look like that, suddenly you feel like really ugly. And
That's
it's like, I
fucking
never liked
everywhere.
that.
That's everywhere.
It's like, I don't know. I hear so much about it in the media, and it's like, you guys don't know that's photoshopped.
Oh yeah. Well,
you know.
photoshopping, yeah, it's just like too far. It's just like,
Dude,
why?
even in like previous photo shoots that I've had, when it comes to like post process, if you are able to tell that it's been edited, they did not do a good job. The photographer did not do a good job like making it look realistic. And I remember one in particular, I could just tell that he just used the blur tool like throughout the image. I'm like, that looks terrible.
So you will repeat what you just said first. You said if it's not edited.
If it looks like it's not edited, the photographer did a good job.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I will, when I post some of my photos and whatnot, I will actually say this is straight out of the camera, meaning the only editing, quote unquote, that I did was add a watermark to it.
Okay, right.
It literally means this photo is exactly how it looked in the camera, no editing, no post-process whatsoever. And then if it is an edited photo, I usually emphasize, like, this is what I did to it. Now, in comparison to other people's photography, I don't spend hours and hours on one picture. I will spend maybe a couple minutes, you know, and that's not a reflection on their technique versus mine or their skill level versus mine. It's just
ADHD, buddy.
I'm not that type of photographer.
I gotta move on. This shit's
a lot
done.
of people say, like, I've heard a lot in photography is, you know, taking the actual picture isn't even half of what makes the picture good.
Exactly.
It's basically you just gotta get a good enough shot
right up in there.
and then once
With
you
good
throw
lighting.
when you throw it in your editor, that's where the magic happens.
Usually, yeah.
That's where, you know,
One of
Yeah.
my photographer friends, it's actually his brand it's part of his method and his brand and his work that, like, it's highly stylized, glossy. Like, you can tell it's edited, but it looks aesthetically pleasing. You know?
yeah, it can't be just over edited, just throwing a bunch of shit on there, color graded
Let's
all
just
wrong.
throw a bunch of filters on it and see what happens. No.
Yeah,
Don't make them look like Snapchat filters. It looks gross.
I mean, I'm the same way. I'm not a photographer though, by any means. I'm delve much more into video stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if I take a picture and I want to make it look a little nicer, I throw it. And I use Paint.net.
Yep.
All the time, and I throw it in there, and I do a little bit of brightness, a little bit of contrast, a little bit of saturation, and I'm done.
That was actually one of my talking points that I wrote down earlier. It's editing or post-processing programs do not have to be expensive. Like, some of my editing I do in Pixlr. For the premium version, it cost me $2.11 a month.
Yeah.
You know, as far as programs like Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Lightroom, those are, I think, individually $10 a month for a lifetime subscription.
Unless you're a student.
Right. If you're a
Yeah, if you're a
student, you can
student.
get it for free. You know. So
I was trying to figure out how I can be a student. That's to get my old ID.
Enroll in my local community
It's
college
wonderful.
simply because.
Yes, I'm going to school.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's something that I do stress. Like, even when I'm posting some of my like hyper edited photos, I say like this was edited in Pixlr and it
Yeah.
took me like 5 minutes.
Paint.net
She
though,
needs to add
it's
more
for
nipples.
something that's free. It has
More
so
nipples? Is that what you said?
Photoshop in more nipples, like one necessary amount of them.
for
I mean, I
Paint.net
could
though.
incorporate more nipples into my photography.
It's
I
not
just
like-
need to
I mean,
do
you could
it.
just put nipples everywhere,
And
and,
then
people
like
are gonna look.
6 more.
Six more,
I'm gonna get
Your
them
nipples?
tattooed on
and
me.
then just put milk me
See,
next to it.
Back where I used to have, back where I used to have abs.
Yeah.
That's where I'm gonna
Just put
tattoo
each nipple
some extra nipples on my
Yeah.
stomach.
Mhm.
So it's like a
milk.
cat. Or
Or like
some
a
other
cat.
really almost any other mammal.
But-
Hey.
To finish my thought before I forget it, because that's the way I operate. I'll forget. There is so many extensions and add-ons and different things that you can get for free along with the free program for Paint.net. Like, it's like you just go to the forum and you just type in what you want, and like there's going to be a filter, there's going to be some sort of tool for you to download for free.
Yep.
This would be a great time to recommend some programs. I think.
recommending programs.
I use Pixlr religiously, Pixlr.
No, I'm just kidding.
But,
Wrong one.
but yeah, it's actually pretty good even if you get the free version. But if you pay, like I said, like the $2 a
Right.
month, you have like unlimited access to different fonts, different filters, different editing
Now,
capabilities.
is this on your computer or is this phone?
There is a computer version for it. I think you have to go onto their actual website and rely on the internet to edit your pictures. Like you have to have
Oh.
an internet connection. I've downloaded the app and paid for the premium version, so I use it on my
So
phone and my
you-
tablet.
So you offload all your pictures to the computer, and then you put them on your phone, and then you
Yes.
edit them from there.
Yes.
Oh,
My process as far
why
as
don't you like editing on a computer?
I do actually. I will use Adobe Lightroom for sometimes I'll edit in Adobe Lightroom and other times I'll
So
just
why
edit.
do you take pictures and you leave the light inside? Why do you do that?
That's just because
Is
it's
this just
intentional.
artsy?
Yeah, that's
Just
kind
an
of
artsy
my
picture.
Yeah, sometimes I kind of like featuring like what's going on in
Right.
my surroundings, and if the light's in it, no big deal. I know some photographers would probably be like, "Why?" But that's
Well, I'm
it's
not a
a
photographer,
point.
and I wondered why.
You know,
so it's just like
it's meant
just
to
art.
yeah, basically. There's no other purpose besides that. It's like because I felt like it.
Right. I would say that lighting is the number one
Yes.
priority if you're going to take a picture.
Preferably, I love
Lighting.
natural lighting, but
Right.
when you're shooting in a room that has like no decent window lighting or anything like that, then that's where the lights come in handy. So,
Right.
and sometimes, because I actually have a large LED that you can adjust the colors on it,
Mm-hmm.
so sometimes if I feel like white light or blue light, you know, I can just pull up the app on my phone and adjust the light accordingly. It's really fun.
You can buy
Jordan got it for me for Christmas.
You can buy
Oh.
you can buy light up butt plugs now.
You can? I'm sure you can, dude.
Glow-in-the-dark butt plugs.
Light me up.
The
Light
LED.
me up, man.
It's like that underglow for cars, but it's gonna take off. I know. Any day now, you're gonna start seeing that shit. I got a backup on hand.
That's why I just got a large drink, so that's gonna set me up for the whole show.
Oh, I thought when you're like, that's why I got a large, and then you said drink, and I was like, oh, okay.
I like them big. What can I say?
I like them big. I'm going to try one.
You won't be disappointed.
Watermelon.
Ooh, the watermelon's the worst one.
Is it?
It is. All the other ones are the
Still
good
gonna
ones.
try
The
it.
watermelon ones are like my least favorite. See, like compare.
This is pretty good. I'll drink this.
Try this. You tried it. Try the straw.
I'll try that one next.
Try the straw.
Wait,
it
what
in
did I
your
miss?
Wait a minute. I'm going to use up all my sounds before the end of this. I better stop. Just get the fuck out of here. All right.
But yeah, that actually kind of leads me into like one of my photographer red flags, I guess you could say. And this is
No, this is red flags
Having a
for
like,
like.
if the photographer is acting a certain way, like that's
Oh,
not
during a
good.
shoot.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any red flags first prior to even booking a shoot? A red flag for a photographer?
If they're flirting with you and then trying to
Well,
book a
right.
shoot with you, don't bother.
I'm not.
Like,
I'm just awkward. I'm not trying to flirt.
Nope.
I'm just weird. All right.
like
Just weird. Oh, that makes me feel more comfortable to book a shoot with you. You're just
Right.
weird.
And
Okay.
I will say, like, I've worked with a couple photographers, like, since I was 18, which means I've known them for the better part of a decade, if not longer. But, yay. But,
I'm gonna like
one
soundbite.
photographer
Just
who
keep
actually
that.
took my first ever modeling pictures, like, if him and I were ever shooting currently, you know, he'll make comments here and there, but I know he's harmless.
All right.
You know, if you could, like, create a character out of him, I see him as somebody who, like, he means no harm, but he runs a porn server. You know, he kind of strikes me as
If I
that
had a
kind of
nickel for
person.
every time a girl said that to me,
He means no harm.
Yeah, but still, like, just because you know him, though.
Exactly. And I actually was kind of like, quote unquote, a chaperone for him when he was working with other models, because the lady that was booking these shoots, she's like, can you like stand in and be a secondary photographer just because it's him and these models aren't used to how he works?
So
I'm
they'll
like,
still
sure, I
just
got
book
it.
him because of
He does good work.
yeah,
and
right. So,
even though
you know,
he's
Harvey
kind of
Weinstein probably
flirtatious,
did too.
right? But as far as I know, despite like how he talks or like his like I won't even call it
Right, he's
flirting.
probably never acted on
He's
it for
exactly,
sure, but still,
exactly.
but you
But I
can't.
understand why some people would be uncomfortable
would.
working with him.
Well,
you
that's
know?
but that's the story of modeling and photography businesses of being a
Unfortunately.
model is
Why
you
is you
fucking
doing
go
yourself?
walk into this and you know you're gonna get like read these remarks and it's ridiculous.
But on the same token, you know, there is a level of professionalism that needs to be maintained. And the photographer that I'm talking about, again, I've known for almost half my life. So
But
I
it seems like you
we-
lose professional credit when you make
we can't
remarks that can
control.
put
There is a good
people
point.
that
When we-
people uncomfortable.
Look, we can't control when we get a boner. It happens.
Now that's but again. Now you're walking around with a boner and like you're not saying anything
No,
about
man.
it. Somebody sees it.
Let that flag fly, buddy.
I mean, you don't got to tuck it. You don't got to
gotta
tuck
tuck
it.
it in.
No,
Just let it fly.
loosen
Let
the
that
belt a
flag
little
fly.
bit. Give her a
But
tuck.
yeah, there's that,
Try to shove down the leg
Oh
hole, walk funny.
or the other red flag that's kind of the reverse order where you shoot with them and then they try to flirt with you later. It's like,
Oh.
no, like
That's my approach.
Yeah, get the shoot done. Make the
I've
money.
already seen
I'm
your
a call-
butthole, so let's do this.
I already got my
I'm
money.
gonna call bullshit.
Let's
That's
do
exactly how we started dating.
this.
You're not
Yeah. Hey,
60% of the time, it works every
every
time.
time. But
Yeah,
other than
that's-
that,
no
gotta
other
shoot
red
your shot.
flags.
I mean,
Just
I do.
by the way
There's-
they act.
There's other red flags.
Like, what would you see? Like, if somebody, like a photographer, you're like, hey, I want to book a shoot for my family or just anything, right?
I
And
don't do
they send you their portfolio. What's a red flag that could be in their portfolio?
If their photos look like shit, they're either really new or they have no idea what they're doing. And that also is like a little tidbit for new photographers.
How do you know it looks like shit?
I feel like you can't
really
do...
harsh contrast and lighting where it doesn't look
Where the sky looks white?
yeah, or like the highlights are cranked up so much that it's like, what the hell am I looking at? Like,
What is this?
I
Is it
wish I
a-
had like some photos to compare and contrast. Be like, this is a good picture. This is not a good picture.
So, like, what if they send you their portfolio and they've picked too many areas of photography? Like, they're like, all right, I do nature scenes, family photos, and porn.
They're
I'd
either
like to sign up for the
well-rounded or they
family photos.
haven't picked a niche.
So, what are you looking for?
Yeah, what exactly are you? I have a wide range of skills.
I mean, that's kind of how I started. I mean, I shoot portraits, I shoot
I mean-
architecture, and I've shot porn stars. So
to be
it's
fair,
like,
like family porn's kind of taken off, so
It has. Combine both. I'm gonna go for the combo.
Yeah, you
have
know,
the combo
I
where you
think
buy
somebody was
two.
like, I'm doing all these things.
I wanted to do a family porn shoot in nature. So you got anything for all three?
It's like we're on a mountain with your family, and you're fucking.
So you just photographed porn stars.
yeah. Say that again.
So you just photographed some porn stars.
Not recently, but in like
When?
the past couple. God,
A couple years ago.
2017.
Okay.
Yeah, the past couple of years.
Who was it? A famous one?
You might
Quasi.
know her.
I mean, unless they're ultra famous, probably not. but-
No. But
I
she
don't
goes.
know who that
Her
is,
name's
wife.
Mallory. She's actually a total sweetheart. Her and
All right,
I
look
have-
him up, John.
Mallory Maneater.
Mallory Maneater. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Have you ever
All right,
seen
Mallory
like,
Maneater.
double anal penetration?
Double anal penetration. That's
I
what she
didn't
goes
photograph that.
You want to see
So
how
you-
many dicks you can
you
fit in a
just
human body all at
photographed
once?
Yeah, I just photographed
for. Like
her.
for a spread shoot or like a portfolio
just
shooter.
portfolio.
She's like a
little bit of
goddamn
mixture.
package of ballpark franks in this fucking photo set.
Oh come on!
There's
Be
so many
nice.
wieners in there.
There's
So many wieners.
Don't be shaming somebody's life choices.
I
As
didn't
much as
shame
you
her,
want. Yeah,
but
whatever.
that's what it is.
I mean, that's
I
what
didn't
you're
say.
work-
I
you're
didn't say
working
it.
up to
I didn't say it in a negative way. I said there's a lot of
No,
wieners.
for real, John. Look it up.
Can we show that? on
Like,
here?
yeah. It's just my fucking podcast.
Demonetized.
Well, we ain't gonna show 12 Frankfurters in their fucking butthole, but we can look up a picture of who it was.
We can show the
Maybe
aftermath.
one of your shots will be on there. I don't know.
I don't know, probably, but
Did she use them?
We can find
She
some.
did.
There's some with
For
her in them.
portfolio, though.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it won't be.
Yeah, it's nothing like super risque or anything. It was just mostly like portraiture
I
work.
Could
bet
you
you-
imagine
I
being
bet you
a
there's
porn
a small
star?
there's a small chance that we're gonna pull up Mallory Maneater pictures and then you're gonna be in some of them, Tara.
Did you find them?
They're pretty.
Well, pull up. They're pretty what?
Explicit right off the bat.
Huh?
There's like explicit right off the bat.
Okay, well, is
Yeah,
there any
let's,
with
let's
like
put
with
those
like
on the
just
big screen
her
here.
and like boobs or something? Because we can probably get away with boobs, but we ain't gonna be able to get away with.
Hold on.
All right, yeah, go help him.
Oh Jesus! Are you gonna like navigate him to try and find one that I'm actually in?
Because the problem is that then all this still.
Yeah, but
shows
could
up.
you like just imagine like being a porn star and being like, "Here's my portfolio," and then being told no? Like, what do you?
I mean, if somebody doesn't have the look for a certain project, then they're not gonna get booked, you know. And it's the same thing with modeling in general. If a photographer doesn't have a certain mood with their
guess-
portfolio, a model's not gonna book them, and vice versa.
I guess I didn't mean that was actually my original question was more just imagine putting your portfolio out there. It's just kind of like this isn't my portfolio of pictures or whatever. I'm a regular like model. But. Is that it?
Those are some of.
Okay, that's it. He goes.
I knew what he was gonna do too.
Oh shit! So that's on Flickr.
I know the photographer who shot that too.
Bookmark that.
Go fucking figure.
Damn it!
I knew you would do it.
Yeah, it's getting hot in here now. We're gonna have to.
I said I was gonna take my shirt off.
Woo! Yeah, there goes that. Yeah, well, that hard work. Too bad you don't got the nipples tattooed on.
I
there.
know.
Oh shit.
Oh shit!
It's gonna get more areolas.
It's
tattooed
getting
around.
dangerous in
Make my
here.
areola.
More areola.
I just want
Areola.
you to expand my areolas.
It's getting really areolous in here.
You won't let me play with yours, so what the fuck?
I'm gonna get the-
It's
gotta
kinda
get a couple
weird.
on the butt cheeks. I don't like it.
It
feels
is.
weird.
It's weird. It's
There's a lot of other parts of my body that I want played with that aren't my nipples. Specifically,
Fine.
two
I
of
was
them.
gonna say lots, lots, huh?
I mean, we're talking pure real estate.
Real estate, yeah. We're gonna go over the whole anatomy here. Yeah,
You are
sure.
not pure.
Yeah. So yeah, so that was your one. Was that your one and only time doing that, or did you do more?
No, actually, Mallory and I worked together, modeled together on another occasion too. But I was also photographing her, like
That's what I meant.
First half
Like
of the shoot.
photographing a porn
I
shoot.
worked with her.
Just her though.
Yeah,
Nobody
just
else.
her. I've worked with her twice as me just being the photographer.
Maybe you'll do more now.
She actually
After
was
this.
trying to.
Oh, she'll do that. Okay.
years ago, she was actually trying to book me to be on set for some of her like other shoots, and I'm like, I'm fine with that. I just let me know a few weeks ahead.
Is
of
this a
time.
video shoot?
I'd be the scene because
The
apparently
scene photographer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a actual position.
It
in this.
is.
Yeah.
No,
It
it's funny,
is
too,
like
because
you're
No,
on
it is.
set
There's people
photographing
taking
stills.
pictures, yes.
So,
I
but
believe that
she's like the
Mallory-
fact that you're a woman and you're willing to photograph that. Like, yes, please, we need you.
I think
Right.
Mallory. I think we talked about this the last time I was here. That Mallory performed on the Amityville Vibrator movie that features one of my old band's songs.
Yes.
So
That's
Yeah.
how you
Oh,
struck
world.
up conversation with me in the beginning. Hey, I didn't know that you worked with Mallory, by the way.
oh, I
She
fucking
did
totally
this.
knew. I knew for years.
Yeah, you totally did. You knew.
I
Yeah.
just had to break that.
That's how I
The
lured you
icebreaker.
in.
It's the
Just
icebreaker.
had to break the hymen and get in there. You know?
Yeah. yeah. Well, that's been broken.
There's a joke I like to make because Tara's only got half a cervix, and I always say, I'm still working on the other half.
You're lucky I have a sense of humor.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually a guy thing. But.
Wait for it.
That's the sound I make when I come.
And it's done. And it's done.
That's how you know.
We're done. We're done.
Good heavens, I'm arriving.
Oh,
Claw.
man.
Oh shit.
The claw. The claw.
The claw.
The claw decides who will stay and who will go.
What a fucking classic movie Toy Story was. Man.
There's like what 4 or 5 of them out now.
Yeah, I
don't
know.
care. I
but
only watched
still
the
like
first two.
First. The first is like still just.
The first one was great. The second one,
They're all
All
pretty
right.
good though. They're not bad. How about the Buzz Lightyear movie?
I haven't seen that yet.
I
I
don't
haven't
know.
either.
I got
John,
kids though, so they might.
you seen
be
it
down
yet,
with
John?
Not yet.
You going to?
I'd rather watch something else.
Yeah. It looks all right. I just don't like the fact that it's like so. It makes sense because there's tons of Buzz Lightyears, but it's not like the Buzz Lightyear.
Right.
So it's like we'll see how it goes. I guess you got now. You're gonna have like a Woody one.
I
Are
got
you
Woody
gonna
right
have
now.
a Jesse one?
What Woody?
You're gonna have all the origin stories. Why not? I mean, what a great spin-off series. It's just all the origin stories of the Toy Story characters. You got
see it.
so many. The aliens.
This get real dark. It's like
Well, the
R-rated.
aliens, would that be involved with the Buzz Lightyear though?
Probably.
Are the aliens still
I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I think it'd be easy to tie them together, but
what is it? Zorg or something that's
Yeah.
Zurg.
Zurg. I was close.
Close enough.
Close enough. Yeah, it's gonna obviously be the main antagonist of the movie, but I'm kind of interested to see what it's like.
And they've got Chris Evans voicing
I'll probably
Buzz
never watch it
Lightyear.
though, because I don't watch fucking shit for movies. But
I mean, you got kids and I got kids, so they might like that shit. I don't know.
it just depends on how much you like movies.
Kids are
like,
different now. Like, you know, like when we were kids, like that's all there was. Like if you wanted to see some shit like that, you had to wait for the movie to come out, right?
Oh, right.
Now they just got everything's on demand, so they just watch whatever. They got YouTube and shit.
Yep.
You know?
Oh yeah, you can watch
It
it.
was different for us, so they might like
When
it.
we
You
were
can
kids,
see it early
YouTube
and
They
didn't
can't
exist,
sit
so
through
we
a
either had
fucking
to
whole
create
movie.
our own narratives or we had to wait
Yeah.
for movies.
That's what I say about
Or
like.
go read a book.
And it's,
How many times have you jacked off in the woods to an
Yeah.
old porno magazine?
well, remember when
You
you
don't know
first
what it was
started?
like.
How old were you when you first started playing bass?
I was okay. So
Simple question, man.
it
How
was
old
a
were you?
weird-
Let me
with
get
it.
to my point.
I started with guitar.
Well,
I
when did you
started-
first start playing music?
I started playing guitar when I was about 11.
Yeah, so there wasn't YouTube, right?
No. And I never really learned how to play it. I just kind of dabbled with it for like a year or two. And then I got a drum set from a yard sale for like $25 and kind of fucked around with that for a while. And then I ended up with a bass. I think I was about 13 when I finally ended up with a bass guitar. And then I kind of
Then you
stuck it out from
up-
there and I
stuck
just
it out
learned how to
there.
play.
But there was like ultimate guitar.
Well, like there wasn't
Right?
like for me, like when I started playing bass, there wasn't. I grew up out in country. Like there
Right.
wasn't shit else to do. I just sat in my room and played bass for
So you just sat there and just
years.
played it.
oh yeah, for years. I just learned songs by ear.
Did you ever
and
get
just-
tabs?
I did download tabs sometimes.
But that's my point, though, is like a lot of these people that, you know, nowadays, like you start something, you have YouTube, you have everything that can go and show you exactly what to do. Where
SoundCloud.
before it was like,
I think
for,
a
when I
lot of
played
that shit
drums,
has
I would download
inhibited.
tabs and then I would just play the song on the CD.
I think like YouTube and stuff has inhibited a lot of musicians because you get on there and you see these people that are just amazing.
Oh, fuck no.
You know?
Are you kidding me? If there wasn't YouTube and all this shit around, like, you guys might have actually fucking made it.
Like
That's the way I believe.
potentially, but
That's what I
with
believe because there's so
everything-
much.
well,
There's
people
so
don't-
much.
People don't buy albums.
So
It's
much.
all on demand. Everything.
But there's so
So,
much.
but,
Before it
like-
was like you got signed and then you were the fucking one. You know, you got promoted. You got all the bullshit. You got to go on the tours because it was more selective. To where
Just like,
now, where everybody can release anything. Same thing with photography. Same thing with everything.
with,
Anybody can do what the fuck they want.
With
so there's
YouTube
so
and
much
music, you know, you
There's
get
an
on there to learn. You get on there to
Diluted.
learn, right? And there's so many people that are so good. Whereas, like when I was coming up and learning, you had the space to suck for a long time.
Yeah, you could suck.
You didn't see, you saw
Nobody's
great
seen that you
musicians.
sucked.
You would see great musicians, you would hear great albums. But you weren't flooded with it constantly.
Right.
You had a space where it was like you would play with other musicians, but they weren't these virtuosos that are on YouTube just doing crazy shit.
Or they might be. You just didn't
They
have
might
this
be-
comparison to go by.
They might be better than you, and ideally you want to play with musicians that are better than you to push you to be better and to teach
Yeah.
you things that you didn't know and how to do certain techniques and whatnot. But when you're first starting out and you're bombarded with that stuff, it's like you're like, I'm never going to be that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It can.
It's kind of a
defeat you.
self-defeating
it's like that
thing.
now.
Well,
Like I
see-
consider myself to be a pretty decent bass player, but I get
I
on
think you're
there.
really good.
I get on there and I'm like, I fucking suck, dude.
Right, but then
And
there's some-
likewise, I consider myself a somewhat decent photographer, but I already know that there's going to be people out there that are better than me. But I also have seen people's work that is worse than mine. So it's
well,
like,
it's
I'm doing
not,
all
but
right.
it's still not. Yeah, it's still not.
And as
all
long
about,
as you're improving, who gives a shit?
right. That's
Well, and there's a
self gratification,
and especially with music, there's a difference between being like a good musician and a good songwriter. Like
Right.
you don't have to be able to play all these
Songwriter's
crazy
actually
scales
better.
and sweeps.
you want to
and
make
just
it. Be a
everything.
songwriter.
Yeah, if you write good songs, that is so much more valuable and so much more important than being a talented, quote unquote talented musician.
Yeah.
Somebody who could do all this crazy music theory stuff. Like you don't need that to be a good songwriter. It's helpful.
Yeah.
It's useful, but you don't have to do that.
No.
We
We
a
got
lot of the
so
greatest
much-
songs of all time are not complex.
No.
You
Well,
know?
I mean, like, if you're even if you're a beat writer or something
Right.
like that, and you get like a Bieber or somebody like to freaking pick that up, like you're all right. I made it, dude. Now
You know,
everybody's gonna be coming to
Right.
you for more work and
I've
more
seen-
songs.
I've seen a lot of bands, they get up there and they try to write the most complex things they can and and it's really just them jerking each other off. Like
Yeah,
every
yeah.
musician in
It's
the
a
room,
big jerk
if
fest.
they're just like, oh, look how awesome I am. And I'm like, nobody fucking cares.
Honestly, yeah, because look at the crowd.
Right. That's the thing. I'm like,
I mean,
all right, you
Where's
fucking,
everybody?
we're in
Yeah.
a fucking podunk bar in the middle of nowhere. Like,
That's why if like you get booked at like a smaller bar, be like, don't be like, oh fuck, be like, yeah, we have a chance to pack it.
yeah, I love,
You know what I
love
mean?
playing smaller venues. Like,
Yeah, you can
small
pack
venues
them.
were my favorite to play because you play somewhere like the Orbit Room,
It's
if you don't got
fun.
1,000 people in there, it's empty.
It's empty.
But you go play someplace like Uli's House of Rock back in
Yep.
the day in Lansing. You get 50 people in there, it's packed.
It's
and
packed.
It's a fucking party.
It's fun,
And you're
Yeah.
having a good time.
right?
So I love small bars. I love playing the small
I miss
rundown
Uli's.
stuff.
Yeah, I
Louis
played
was a
there
great
one
place.
time. That show that we played with you guys for
Yeah.
the homegrown throwdown.
Oh,
or
yeah.
yeah.
Uli's was a rocking place.
It was fun.
I mean,
I like
I
their
love
I like their
guy.
air conditioning with the fans.
There's only like a handful of shows that I ever played there that weren't like a really solid like show.
Solid, yeah.
But
But
it was always a great time.
But
no
again,
matter
we're talking almost 10 years ago.
right.
Think about how much has changed and progressed in 10
It's
years.
insane.
God, that's what 2012.
Yeah, but when I was jamming in that band, it was 2013, 2014. So it was one of those
Yeah.
2 years that we played there. And
Yeah, that was like mid-career From Blue to Gray because From Blue to Gray started in
yeah,
08.
that was the original people. Maybe was it the drummer that maybe was? No, it was still that other
It
drummer.
was probably Dan. It was drumming. Dan was in for a while.
It was like the
me,
original. Ryan.
Dale,
Yep, Dale.
Tim,
Yep.
and I'm not sure.
Well, Tim and Dave are still like.
I'm not sure if that was. I'm pretty sure Dave was in by that point.
Dave
it
didn't
could've
start
been-
it with.
Dave. It was either Mark still or Dave. Pretty sure Dave was in by then though.
Jabbar or whatever, or
Jaber.
Jaber. Yeah,
He hates it when
Jabbar.
I call him that.
Is it Is
David
it Jabbar or
Jabbar.
Jaber.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he was there. Yeah, he was there. Yeah, you still had your long hair.
Yep.
That's when we met.
Yeah.
That's right. I could have.
And that's what I was like, wow.
That's
this
what she said.
Fucking dude is so good.
I was like, yeah, we should have fucked.
But we should have fucked. Damn it. Fuck. I had a light up butt plug too.
I was married. I was married at the time, and I was like, I should have cheated on her more.
Should have shown me that picture then.
That picture didn't exist back then.
Go to Flickr. No. Yeah. I lost my point.
Oops.
But yeah. Yeah. It's everything is just so oversaturated though. I think it's just it can kill
artistic markets have
all
kind of
artistic,
become
not
that
just
way.
music. Yeah,
Yeah, you know.
photography especially. Everybody's got a fucking camera and they think they're like fucking
Oh yeah.
producing the
But
best shit.
here's the thing. Even though if everybody thinks that they're a photographer, their reputation will determine whether or not they stick around. Period.
So just like
You can be a great photographer, but if you're a raging dickhead, you're not
well, that's
going
what I
to
was
get
saying
it.
The
earlier
other
with this
factor
guy
is-
that makes slide remarks to everybody that he's photographing. Like,
The turnover rate's higher though. Like people get into it and then they don't make any money because it's a saturated market.
yeah,
And then they get out of it. They might be an awesome photographer and they might have been able to build a solid career, but pushing past that point of where you're not going to make shit for a really long time is difficult because you got to have a full-time
you
gig
got to
on
have
the
a side gig.
and do that.
Yep.
So you're working 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah, you
'Cause
have to
not
have
only-
a gig with it.
Because it's not just photography; it's self-promotion too. You got to run on all media
And
outlets. You got to
editing
constantly
and all
share
that
stuff. You got to
stuff.
do all your editing. You got to go to
Consistently
events.
networking.
Like if you're a
You know
photographer
how
for
Travel.
bands, you got to go to all those shows and do all the photography and do the quick turnarounds. Otherwise, people don't want to buy your stuff. You know. And so it's yeah. I mean, for a lot of people, I think it's best for them to keep it a hobby. Because if you try to turn it into a job, a lot of people will end up hating it.
I know
Same
full
thing with
well
music.
that I won't make it big as a photographer, and I've accepted that. But as long as people keep liking my work, I don't care. It's
And
great.
we have
Right.
like I do music and she does like art and photography and stuff, and we have like that's a hobby for us. Like it's never going to be our careers. We have
Music.
we
and
have pretty
photography.
high career ambitions.
Yeah,
We actually have some pretty cool stuff going on with that too.
Mm-hmm.
So
like what?
Much excite.
Like what?
um,
You tell us.
Well, I don't know how much I can give away.
so Tara is a biochemistry major,
Okay.
and then
Learning about the human body and all the ways to
Learning.
fuck it up.
so before this, she was an autopsy assistant and a histotech.
Yep. When I originally
okay.
went back to school, it was to become an autopsy assistant.
Really?
And I knew maybe a couple months into going back to school, I'm like, I'm not going to stop at this. I think I'm going to be a histotech because I really like working with microscopes.
dead people.
Then I learned that the community college that I was going to, they actually were affiliated with Royal Oak Beaumont for their School of Histotechnology. And I'm like, well, I need to keep my big mouth shut, but I'm going to do this.
Dang.
So I'm a certified histotechnician as well, which basically means I get paid to slice up human tissue into really, really, really thin slices.
And then what do you do with that?
And then it gets stained with special dyes, and then the head pathologist looks at it and makes his determination whether or not there's disease present, and
Oh, okay.
go from there. So we're part of a team, like a
Do you take the sample? Or do you
what
get the sample of the skin?
well, it's not just skin. I mean, we're talking like any organ in the body.
Okay,
I've,
so you
I've
receive
sliced
these
through bone, for pity's sake. So
Which is an organ.
bone?
yeah.
Okay.
But I'm basically a histotech is one of the people who works in the lab. We thinly slice the tissue, and once it's stained, it gets delivered to the pathologist. So we're the ones taking the sample, or sometimes retaking the sample if there's any artifacts on it, but we're not the ones that determine whether or not it's diseased.
Right. So,
It's fun. Science is great, and that's kind of what led me to become a biochem major.
science.
Because we like
rules.
slightly scratched the surface of biochemistry in the histotech program. So I'm like, I want to go down this rabbit hole. So here we are.
God damn it.
But I might end up, one of the exciting things is I might end up doing research in the same lab that Jordan's involved in.
Oh. So what's your specialty then?
So I'm currently doing my master's in chemistry, and my area of research is technically in the realm of material science and engineering, but I am developing specialized imprinted membranes. So they're basically I'm taking a material that I made in my undergrad, which is called graphitic carbon nitride.
You made this.
Yeah, I synthesized it in our lab, and I was using it in battery technology, but it has other uses, and so I'm using that to strengthen and reinforce our polymers for our membranes. And using that, I figured out how to use blue light to initiate polymerization in these polymers from my graphitic carbon nitride. And what our polymers are for...
Thank you. I was going to say, okay, let's go back. Let's dumb this down.
We're removing various things from the water, so heavy metals and things. Specifically, the two things we're focusing on right now are arsenate, which is a
derivative of arsenic.
Yeah. I was going to say, is it?
It's related to arsenic. It's a derivative of arsenic, and ammonia from the water. So we're making imprinted polymers, which are special polymers that contain these molecules, and then we remove these molecules for them, so they have special pores that are designed to capture these molecules out of the water. And my graphitic carbon nitride basically strengthens and reinforces these polymers so that they don't collapse under pressure. And
this would be something in the water. So when you say in the water, this is like
It's filtering out contaminants.
this not in your body or
In
the water.
In the water supply.
it's in the water supply.
Yeah.
Okay. So when people start talking about like PFAS and all that stuff, is this kind of what you're?
Yeah,
kind of some of that it would. Be
yeah. There's
filtering
other
out?
labs that are probably focusing on that specifically, but ours, yeah, we're starting with ammonia and arsenate, and we actually we haven't. We're working on our proposal, but we have it in good faith that we will be receiving funds from a government contract for this research in the amount of $1 million.
Whoa. Dude.
Hopefully. Let's not
Hopefully.
jinx it. Knock on wood.
And so
Oh, you get a clap.
I was actually I was asked today to continue my research on there beyond my master's, which will work out because it'll give Tara a chance to finish hers, her bachelor's, and then ideally we're going to go to MSU to pursue our PhDs.
Really?
So
Wow.
My ultimate goal,
That's
I want to
awesome.
work in forensic chemistry.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
I love true crime, okay?
Just
I
don't
can't
turn
help
into
it.
Dexter.
No.
So she's going to be pursuing her PhD in biochemistry, and I'm going to pursue mine in material science and engineering.
Wow.
So
He's the smarter one of the two of us.
Yeah, but you can see that goddamn deck off the beach in fucking about 10, 15 years' time.
I mean, my one research professor has a pretty dope Ferrari. So.
Just keep the grind up and it'll come.
You know,
And you'll be doing something that you like to do.
Well, ideally,
Which is the most important. I don't care if you make $10 an hour and you love to do it.
So with our proposal, I'm hoping to be published before I finish my master's, and then if she joins on to this research project with me, then she will be published in her undergrad.
Which is rare,
which is
apparently.
rare. And so when we apply for our PhDs, we'll already have published research. So.
Wow.
Like, haha, here, accept
Here,
me.
yeah, please accept me.
Pleased
Yeah.
to be letting me in
Yes.
through your doors.
Yes, I'm already doing what I'd be doing here. Please. Yeah, that's cool.
Yes.
That's really cool.
But yeah, previous to this, I did battery research and used graphitic carbon nitride as a separatory layer in batteries.
So, for what exactly?
So lithium can form dendrites and such, and because graphitic carbon nitride, with its aromatic structure, and it has pores that have electron pairs, pi electrons, in these pores, they can bind because they're negatively charged to the positively charged lithium and prevent these dendrites from moving through. Because what happens is these dendrites, they become these long crystalline chain-like structures, and they have a larger volume than their ions do, and they will expand the battery. They can puncture through the the separator and have the two electrolyte solutions mixed together, and that's when your batteries will explode. That's why you see phones explode and stuff.
Oh.
So trying to
Bad juju.
increase the capacitance of the batteries along with, but that was a different form. This was the one that I'm using is called pristine graphitic carbon nitride. That's for the polymers. The ones I used for the battery was a nitrogen deficient graphitic carbon nitride. So it took an extra step of synthesis called magnesiothermic reduction.
Wow.
Yep.
Just like
He likes to use the scientific terminology, and every now and again I
I'm
look
like
at him and
that
go,
guy.
"Can you dumb that down, please?
Like,
I'm not there yet." It's like the level of education that you're at. I'm not there yet. Okay, so
Yeah,
this
I'm not
makes
there
sense,
yet.
but the rest
Please.
of it doesn't.
I don't take
Well, at
many
least maybe-
classes that don't start with advanced.
I was in integrated math. They're like, we need to get this guy through
I
high
minored
school.
I
in math.
just passed pre-calculus. Can you cut me some slack here? I've never taken pre-calculus before this past semester, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to die. And then I end
Calc
up
3 is the
passing.
easiest
I'm like,
calc.
no.
So would you say it's still worth it for let's say for most people
Oh, absolutely.
to go to college?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
What did you think I was gonna say?
To study science, to go into STEM, I think it's immensely valuable.
Yeah.
But monetarily, it doesn't make sense for most people unless you're going to practice. So, with going to college, no. Unless you're going into STEM, business or law, college is kind of a waste of time
Just a waste-
for you.
Just go
go into a trade.
trade.
Do a trade.
That's what I told my 6th grade students back in the day. I used to teach at a charter school in Detroit.
Really?
And, yes. And one day one of my 6th graders asked if I recommended going to college, and I said yes, but
But
learn a trade in the process. That way, let's say you want to become a surgeon.
at the
You
same time as going to college,
You can work a trade and still go to college. It's a little
Work.
tricky, but
work a trade.
right. But I also was like,
That's
if you
that's
want
different.
to, if
though.
you want to
That's-
become a doctor, learn the trade of being an X-ray tech. You know, that way you can still work while going to college.
but doesn't
And
that
then-
require school?
It does,
It's a
but less
certification
schooling.
process,
It's a
yeah.
certification.
Okay, yeah. There's
Like
lots
for
of
me to
things
be
you
a
can do in the
histotech,
hospital.
for me to become a certified histo, I was in school maybe 2 years.
Right.
Yeah. So I have a cousin who started off in radiology and moved on to go to medical school and become a physician's assistant. So it's definitely a route
Right.
to take. But yeah,
well, because
and you have to
we
know
had the
your markets,
conversation the
like-
other day about like these, unpaid interns and stuff.
Yeah,
No.
you don't really see that in my field.
But if you're going to college and it's like, maybe not everybody's gonna be able to be like,
The lowest
this
paid
is easy, and you're like putting in all this work.
the lowest paid internship I've had was $20 an hour.
That's $1 less than what I made as a histotech when I was working.
You're like shit.
But yeah,
How prevalent
possibly
is in unpaid interns?
it in my field?
Because I still hear about it. I still hear people about having to go do an internship and they're not getting paid.
In my field, it's almost unheard of.
But that's your field
Right. In other fields, I can't say because
because you don't know.
I've never done it. I
Right.
hear of it. I hear of it happening.
But it's like, how do you expect people to?
But like, if you're going to go into
Survive.
STEM, you need to know your markets too. You need to know what you want to do.
So STEM is what again?
Science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
Yeah, that's what it is in schools
So
now.
like
young.
if you're going to go into chemistry, like I am,
Elementary.
you need to pursue a graduate degree. If you want to go into like chemical engineering, you can make a pretty solid living with a bachelor's degree.
When did STEM start?
I mean, chemistry is the oldest science. there
No,
is, but-
no. When did it switch to STEM?
When did they start calling it
Calling
STEM?
it
I'm not
STEM.
sure exactly.
That I don't know
when
either.
the
Because it
term
wasn't when we
coined.
were in school. I know there, but now like my
Yeah.
daughter's going to kindergarten next year, and they were talking about STEM, their STEM class or whatever, and I'm like,
I think I remember
what the fuck
seeing
is
it
STEM?
regularly named like a couple years ago, but I think it was still being used earlier.
I think it's
than that.
probably
But like
mainstreamed, relatively new.
a lot of people think they're not like smart enough for school, or they're
No, I don't think that's true. Some people just like they got like me. Like
They get
I
a bad
fucking
experience.
hated school.
See, and that's the
I,
thing
I,
is,
I was super senior, and I had to go to summer school also to get it done. Like I just
And
hated it. I didn't want to be
the
there.
college environment and the high school environment is so different.
So different.
Yep.
They're not preparing you really for reality at all.
I think every school should operate like how the adult education school
Well,
operates. Like where I went, like where they're like, "Yo, you can leave.
yeah.
You can leave if you want. I
Well,
don't care."
That's the thing. Like,
Oh, you gotta
one
go to
of
the
I had a
bathroom?
couple professors.
Oh, you gotta go to
like
the
that
bathroom?
in college.
Don't care. I don't. Yeah, I
one
don't
of
have
the
to ask
biggest
for permission.
issues-
One of my
Yeah.
professors said on the very first when I went back to school originally, one of my professors said on the very first day, he's like, "You're gonna get the grade you earn. If you don't want to come to class, I don't give a shit. I still get paid whether or not you drop." I'm
Right.
like, oh.
But
Yeah,
it should
you
be like
go
that
from
for
a you go
fucking
from
high
a,
school too.
You go from a setting where you have to ask permission to go use the bathroom to a setting where you can do whatever the fuck you want. They don't give a
Exactly.
shit
Yep.
if you show up.
Right.
And a lot of people fail out because of that. Because they don't have like the self-sufficient like determination.
Because they've been coddled. You mean kind of like
Well,
you know,
because they've always had somebody there to force them to do stuff.
Or
and
tell
then you
them
suddenly
what to-
don't
yeah.
have that.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
Now you go
and
buck wild.
They're out on their own for the first time. They don't
Yeah.
have their parents hovering over them.
That's why I say take
You
a
know,
year off.
A lot of them
Go
don't
to
do
go
well.
to college when you're 19.
I mean, look at it like this. Like,
or 20.
I failed out of college the first time I went to college.
Exactly. That's why I said take a break. You're
I
fucking 18, you know, or 19 when
Dude,
you
I
graduate.
didn't know what the
whatever,
fuck I
like,
wanted to do in
and
high school.
Nobody fucking
I was
knows.
expelled from high school. I almost didn't graduate. I ended up going back to like an adult ed program.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I did.
I didn't even go to a real high school. And
No.
now I'm getting prepared to apply for PhD programs. So
Right.
I
You know,
did bad
life's
the
crazy.
first time I went to college. I went to it's basically the way how I crack it up is I went to college because I thought I had to, not because I wanted to.
Right.
Now that I'm back in school, it's because I want to get
be
out of my
there.
way.
That's why I say you don't just go right to college because that's what you're supposed to do is go right to college. Just
Right.
wait.
It kind of takes the wind out of
Figure
your
it out.
sails.
well, you're not grown up yet. You don't
No,
know what
you're
you
not.
like. You haven't experienced life. You don't.
You have not.
No idea what you want to do.
Just go fucking work at
And-
fucking Cold Stone or whatever
Right.
ice cream place for another year or
Go
two.
live a little bit.
Get an apartment. that
Get
you
the
can
partying out of your
halfway
system.
afford.
You know,
Yeah.
make your
Yeah.
mistakes. Do all your dumb shit.
Yes, do it.
Don't do
all
it while
that
you're
dumb
on the
shit
hook
in your
for 60
20s and then
grand.
go back to school in your early 30s.
Why not?
Hey,
Why
getting a
not?
PhD at 40 is just
Now
as
you
much
know,
of
but
a
like you said, now you know this is
accomplishment.
exactly what I want to do. I am all in. I've made the decision as an adult to pay for this shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Yep.
When you're 19, you think, or 18, you're like, oh, I got
I
a scholarship or a Pell
Right.
Grant, or
I'm gonna blow it
well,
all the way
I'm
on
blow it
partying.
all the way, yeah.
Woo.
And
You know,
it's-
ask
and then you gotta
anybody.
pay it all back.
Ask anybody your age. They're like, are you the same person you were when you were 19?
No.
Fuck no.
No,
No. So
I
different.
would choke my 19-year-old
there's similarities.
self.
There's similarities,
Right.
you know, but you're not like your
Like,
mindset and
you-
your goals and your even morals
you mature,
are different.
and you
Yes.
like, you know, you figure out how life works, and like during those years, like 18 to like 25, you're like just figuring out how the fuck to be an adult.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
You don't even know yet.
yeah. Like,
Hopefully, maybe you have been working for a couple of years. Like I started working when I was 15,
right. Yeah.
15 and a half, 16 or whatever at Wendy's
Yeah.
for
I
$6.30
didn't
an
have
hour.
my first job until I was 18.
Yeah.
I was
mean,
really sheltered
That's a lot of
growing
people
up.
though. That's a lot of people don't work during high school
Right.
either.
No,
I was
I mean,
15,
I
you
didn't
know,
have the
and-
capability. I was doing taekwondo and marching band.
Hey,
I worked-
So-
I mean, you were
I
doing
worked
other
from
things.
a pretty young age, you know, in summers and stuff. I'd mow lawns. I'd work on
Right.
farms, picking rocks, picking strawberries, detasseling corn, all that stuff. Get up to like 15,
yeah, over
16.
there, Hickville, like you said, country over
you know,
there.
doing all that stuff. And then I'd be working. I worked in factories. I worked in machine shops and stuff. And I did a bunch of stuff, you know,
Right,
I was
right.
around. And, you know, I think you have to kind of go through all that stuff, figure out what the fuck you don't want.
Yep.
Exactly. You got to figure that shit out.
It's
Right.
like I always knew that I wanted to help people, but interacting with the general population on a daily basis was a hard no from me.
I've
Like,
always
never
thought it
again
was more
retail.
important in life to figure out what you don't want versus knowing exactly what you do want.
Right. And I think we get. I said this the other day where I think America's had it backwards for so long, where more people need the help in the beginning than they do in the end.
Yeah.
Right.
because you get so much help in the end when you're fucking 70, but when you're 20, you're trying to get that first loan for a house, or you're trying to get all this stuff. You have no credit, but how do I get? You need the fucking help then. Like, give me the fucking money
and
then.
High
then I can
schools
set
don't
myself
teach that
up.
stuff to
It's
us.
crazy
They got
too.
rid of home ec for pity's sake.
It's crazy
I
because
learned how to make
oh,
zucchini
you
brownies.
You need to make.
Teach me how to bake because I burn brownies.
I made some killer zucchini brownies, by the way.
Hey, yeah, I mean,
yes,
it works.
his vegan zucchini brownies are fantastic.
It works, dude, because you can use zucchini for a lot of different things.
I got pee-pee.
That's fine. You can use zucchini for all
You can make
kinds of
noodles
shit.
with it for pity's sake.
It's like a sugar, isn't it? Almost kind of. It was a sugar substitute when we made it in home ec. It was a substitute.
I know
out
that
the sugar.
applesauce is also a sugar substitute. It works as like some sort of binder. So
like a binder?
Binder, but it's also, like I said, you can use it to replace certain sugars too.
Do you
I
make
would have
meatloaf?
No, I used to.
You used to? Oh, you don't eat meat?
Oh no, I do.
Okay,
I do.
You used to?
The way
when you made oatmeal, when you made meatloaf, what did you use to bind it together?
I think my dad and we used breadcrumbs and egg.
Oh, okay.
So my dad was the one who taught me how to
I think we
make meatloaf.
use crackers or like breadcrumbs.
Crackers and a meatloaf. That actually sounds really good.
It's good.
I can't eat gluten though, so I'd have to find a gluten-free option.
A gluten-free cracker?
It sucks.
Really? So what is the gluten again exactly?
It comes from wheat and barley and
comes from
stuff like
wheat,
that.
yeah.
So
how about have you been diagnosed like that?
I'm not. I don't
Are you
have
self-diagnosed?
No.
Okay. What about people that walk around and be like, I self-diagnosed?
Get it checked. Like, that's all I have to say.
I heard
is
at a
get
party
checked.
recently.
Now,
they're like, I'm self-diagnosed gluten.
Now,
I'm like,
here's
why do
the
you say
thing.
announce it?
I'm on both sides of the spectrum because I self-diagnosed with one thing, but through dietary changes and actual blood testing, I got confirmed for the other thing. But also, the self-diagnosis led to an actual diagnosis. So, because
Right, yeah. Well,
So
first
for-
you have your warning signs. You're like, I think this is what it might be it. But why go around and like say that? Like, I'm self-diagnosed gluten.
As somebody
free.
who is diagnosed with certain things, it's like, it is my biggest pet peeve. If you suspect that this is wrong or
Right.
something's wrong, go get a doctor. Go find a doctor.
Go find.
There are some
an
clinics
answer.
that can refer you for free or whatever. And dude, if you don't have health insurance, apply for it. You know,
Yeah.
you can get stuff, you can get help through the state. But I had suspected that I had ADHD, and I had suspected it for a good 10 plus years. Well, since about 2015 or so, I started researching it. And the more I read, the more I was like, wait a minute, hold up. You know, because I acted that way when I was a kid. I acted that way when I was a kid. This is something I do as an adult. What the hell? So I finally got evaluated, and yes, confirmed I had ADHD
So what
and
was
anxiety.
what was your biggest couple
The
of factors?
fact that I cannot sit still, and when I say I'm getting overstimulated, I tend to like bunch my shoulders up, and if I don't separate myself from the situation, I will like.
Sorry, I just heard the crunchy.
And then the fact that if I don't separate myself from the situation, I'll like kind of have like an emotional like explosion if I don't get
really?
away. And I said that to the doctor, and I was like, yeah, you have ADHD. I'm like, good to know.
So he just said that? He didn't run any tests?
No, he did. There were a few tests that he did, and I
What
had
are
to.
the tests?
There's one that's kind of built like a computer game, and you have to press the space bar for every letter except the letter X. And towards the end of the game, I reached for a clicky pen, and I was clicking it the rest of the time. I'm like, I cannot sit still anymore. This is driving me crazy.
That's weird because
Click,
when
click,
I
click,
got
click.
tested, the doctor put his finger in my butt. He's like, "Can you sit still?"
This is the wrong test, doctor.
But as far as
Well,
the actually being diagnosed, I don't have celiac disease, but I do have a gluten intolerance, and that was confirmed through blood tests. So
was that like an add-on and like, oh, and you need
no,
to
that
eat
was
less.
two
Oh.
completely different scenarios. My primary care physician. Wow, I cannot talk today. My primary care physician was like,
More wine.
More wine.
let's cut out
More
gluten
wine.
and see what happens. And then I ended up speaking to a rheumatologist, and they're like, we're gonna draw a lot of your blood today. Okay.
I heard some at the same
yeah.
party. At the same party, it was like, I'm gluten, self-diagnosed gluten-free. This other guy was like, yeah, I'm not totally gluten-free. I just don't eat wheat. And I was like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Oh, is that where the gluten comes from? And now we're all gluten, in the wheat. What the
All that
fuck
good old
going on?
gluten gluten.
Yeah, just don't eat wheat bread and stuff like that. I'm like, well, you probably still got like stomach aches or whatever the hell comes along with that. Is that what comes along with it? Stomach aches?
Still eat ass though.
How do you? What? Ass?
If you eat the ass of somebody who isn't gluten free and you're gluten free,
Does it still count?
I'm sorry, I just got a mouthload of gluten. Gluten.
she gluten all over me.
She sprayed her gluten all over me. I didn't know what to do. I was
So gluty.
so gluty.
I ate her glutes.
Is that where all the gluten goes? Is to my glutes? Should I just eat more gluten?
Hey, but doctor, I want a big old ass. I need the gluten.
Well, doctor, that's where I started. I wanted to beef up my glutes, and so I ate
Thankfully, I
everything
don't
with
have
gluten.
to give up Doritos, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, there ain't no wheat in there.
You know,
that's just
pass me
made up
another one of
stuff.
these bad boys. In the minute fridge. Hell yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we only eat food on this podcast
these are
when
spicy
Jordan
ones.
comes.
They are. Oops.
Spicy
I was like,
nacho? Spicy
these-
nacho's good.
I was like, these had a little bit of a kick. They're not super spicy,
Oh,
though, so
my.
I'm all right with that.
No, they're not. They're
Hey,
not,
weren't
they're
we
not
supposed to
make-
talk about ghosts?
They're not. They're not.
What the
make your
fuck is a
mouth hot.
ghost?
There's not-
I've never heard of a ghost until right now.
Ghost.
What the fuck is a ghost?
Ghost.
I've never heard that term in my entire
It was
life.
a good movie in the 90s.
The band is terrible though.
Yeah. Terrible. No
Great
doubt.
live production, awful
So,
songs.
But Ghost is actually only like 10 or 12 years old.
I don't know.
Tell you.
I don't listen to them. I wouldn't know.
I've seen an article shared like it was like 10 or 12 years ago when Ghost played their first show. I was like, wait a minute, I thought this was a band that's like kind of been around for a long time.
When you listen to their music, you would
You'd
think so.
Exactly. I'm not a huge fan of that band at all.
I guess their live production is like amazing, but I'm just the music.
Yeah, like
not for
live
me.
show thing. I think if your band name is Avatar, though, you have to have a good show.
I think they should dress up like the Avatar. Things.
My wife and kids might be home now. Just say hi.
They are.
They don't bite.
They were outside playing. When I'm like,
Oh.
where's your bathroom?
She probably won't get out of that.
I was gonna go pee outside, and then I was like, "Oh, there's a small child right here." I'm gonna put this back.
Wait a minute.
Where's your restroom?
Wait a
ma'am?
minute. Let me put this back away here.
I can't pee behind the castle.
Yeah. So, like, what the fuck do you, like, do all day? So you, like, sit there with a
Drugs.
microscope? Drugs. Yeah, all day. You smoke crack.
You gotta be high to do this shit.
You gotta be high to come up with these ideas. Like, wow, what if we did this to a battery? Wait a minute.
So I don't know.
Let me
On
hit
my
that
daily,
Yeah, like, do you
a
like
lot of
look
my
at
stuff
through a
takes-
microscope a lot? Like,
I
do
don't,
you, like,
I don't
or is
really.
it mostly like computer?
So when
is
I
it
have to look
hands-on?
at stuff, I don't use a microscope. I use scanning electron microscopy. So basically,
John, look that up. He's like, fuck you.
we
A scan.
I-
Hold on. A scanning.
a scanning electron microscope.
A scanning electron microscope.
So what I do for my sample, because they are mostly non-conductive materials, I have to spray them with a conductive coating of gold and palladium. And so we do that with like a plasma beam, where we basically vaporize the stuff. And then I put
In
these-
this machine?
No, this is in a separate machine beforehand, and then
Oh, okay.
I paste these to
What
like.
What is that in the specimen? Is that a fucking ant?
So this is pretty much exactly the setup I use right here.
What is this place?
That one
A
right there.
center for
That's
ants.
the one. That is almost identical to the setup I'm using
Really?
currently for my scanning electron microscopy.
At Virginia Tech.
Not at Virginia Tech.
No, I know, but
the
that's
sa-
where
actually,
it is. They're using about the same thing. At
It is the
Virginia
same
Tech.
instrument right there. So actually, let me point it out here. So right here, this is a vacuum chamber. So I put my samples in there. Yep. And they go in there, and we pump out all the air. We pump in argon gas, ultra pure argon gas, and then essentially we just blast it with an electron beam. And
does it make any
they
weird
like
noises? Or
bounce
is it all
back to a
silent?
detector. It's rather silent. It's pretty unexciting actually doing
Really?
it.
You're just like,
Yeah, and we can get
How's the baseball
down accurate. I can get with good resolution down to about 5 microns in
okay.
size.
Wow.
Uh,
So that's like extremely tiny.
yeah, if you look at some of the pictures, of like scanning electron microscope images, like doesn't matter what.
Oh, there we
So
go.
go to images.
Next.
As a histotech, our usual
Wow.
thickness
Yeah.
of trimming is between like 4 and 8.
Really?
Yeah.
So you see this kinds of shit.
So yeah, this is scanning electron microscopy. This is another.
What is that one? That second image there?
That
What
one-
the fuck is that?
That's
Isn't that a
dust
tardigrade?
mite.
Oh, a dust mite.
That's just a dust mite.
Yeah,
Why do they look so
live
horrific?
They live on your face.
I know. They're everywhere.
They're in you.
Yeah.
You should Google.
That's so it used to be the thing when you were kids. You'd be like,
I'm pretty sure that's one of those fucking things from that Avengers movie.
You should have him Google kidney histology, and you can see what kidneys look
What
like under a
the?
microscope.
That's fake. That color one is that fake? No, that's not.
So they're
Probably
always
not.
black and white. Then they can be recolorized digitally. So that's editing after.
Photoshop.
The colorization is an after thing. So
okay.
scanning electron microscopy.
And that's what they're guessing the color is, because they don't know what the color is, right?
I mean.
Do you know what the color of a dust mite is?
You can look at them under a
Is it black?
microscope at like 1,000 times magnification and
But
kind of guesstimate.
Okay. What do you think?
Are they
black
that
or
seems
brown?
a reasonable color.
Right, that
Probably depends on the species.
How many different species of dust mites?
I have no idea, but probably many.
And
this
that's
is
how
what
you
she
can
did.
tell you're looking at a kidney. You see those large circular things
Yeah.
that have. Those are
That's the
bleh.
glomerulus.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's the glomerulus, and
Glomerulus.
kidney is the only organ that has those in it. So if you see that, it's like, oh, we've got kidney here.
Oh, so like that's some what like a doctor or whoever is scanning you or your kidney or whatever would be looking for.
Yeah.
It's the what is it? The
Glomerulus.
Glomerulus.
Yeah, that's where your nephrons feed into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got that,
That's
gotta
where
get
some of
that
the
nephron.
filtering happens. It's where some of the filtering happens.
Everybody's like, wow, this host is a fucking idiot. I wish he knew more about this.
You're getting a science lesson. Did you know you were getting that today?
That's what it's about. We all learn. Yeah, we all learn something
I'm like
here.
the dumbest fucking smart person you'll ever meet.
And I just say I'm
Yeah, I
derpy
say
smart.
that. Fucking derp. Derp.
I don't know shit about fuck,
I
man.
don't know. Yeah. Yeah. You said that earlier.
Did I?
In a different way. Yeah. Yeah, your kidneys, man. Constantly fucking filter. It's just the
Brewing
big
every
big
drink
filter.
you drink.
The big
Like,
filter,
why are
right?
you doing this?
Could
Well,
you
same-
just call it that?
Did
What-
you know
what
that
is
well,
when
it?
you
your
get a
liver
kidney
also
transplant-
filters too.
What is
Did you
the
know
big filterer? Liver
when-
or the
When you get a kidney transplant, they don't take the old kidney out. They
Oh,
just,
they just
push it
leave
to
it?
the side.
Yeah,
Why?
you'll be walking around with 3 kidneys,
Well, I mean-
but one of them's dead.
So why don't they take it out?
I mean, if you had to remove it, you got to cut a lot of blood vessels. You got to do a lot more
Ah.
damage.
So they just rather hook it up to the existing blood vessels?
Essentially, damage control. Yeah, just kind of graft it in.
And you gotta like hook in. Do you like, or does it just kind of happen that
I
way
think
where
it slowly.
Do you have
probably,
to like hook up every blood vessel?
Yeah,
You do?
yeah.
Under like in just regular surgery, like the guy with his eyeball, like he's just.
I
hooking them
mean,
up?
they have
'Cause that thing's gotta be, like,
specialized
small.
instruments for this stuff.
Is
but-
this automated?
I mean, you need to hook up the major blood vessels. You don't have to hook up every like capillary. Like that's
Okay.
too small.
How many blood vessels would you have to hook up in a kidney transplant?
I think there's one major artery going in and one major vein coming out.
So 1 and 1.
Probably is all
hook
you
them
need.
up.
Because all the veins branch off of the main arteries. So if long as you cut
But
it,
you
it
still don't
burns.
like just be like, you still like just kind of put them together, and then they
Yeah, if you
heal
attach
together.
the artery
just
to the
heal
artery
together.
and the
Right? That's
vein
when
to
the
the
body
vein.
does its work, right?
Yep. And I'm assuming the old kidney probably deteriorates over time and is reabsorbed by the body.
Right.
So
Human anatomy is weird.
Yeah,
That'd be
we all kind of just
all
like
kinds
come
of
from
crazy
dirt, right? You know, dirt is like the
abiogenesis.
dirt is everything, right?
Well,
is that why it feels
it's-
so good to like
it's-
walk around in dirt and bare feet?
Well, it's
Do you
it's
like walking around
crazy because
barefoot?
some of the stuff with like the abiogenesis, like we have found there are certain protein structures that just exist in nature, like around hydrothermal vents and such. And all
Like,
these
what would
do
that be? What would be a hydrothermal vent?
down very far deep in the ocean. There are like vents that release like
Gases?
yeah, like superheated gases from volcanic activity and such. And they're like their own little isolated ecosystems.
What is this?
Abiogenesis.
Okay, the idea that life arose from non-life more than 3.5 billion years ago on Earth.
And so, yeah, with like meteorite impacts and such, they can actually form like amino acids. And if you get enough of these amino acids together in the right place, in the right configurations, they can form proteins that can actually do things. That's what proteins do. You put something in, you get something else out.
Right.
You know, they make stuff. And so there are they found protein structures that just exist.
So what that was saying is flies is just a spontaneous organism.
Right. Well,
No, it's attracting flies.
there was once a belief.
Is that what that said, or did I read that wrong?
Let him explain because sometimes
Did I read that wrong?
No, you read it correctly.
It was saying is
Here's for context.
Yeah, there was once there was once a belief that like if you left a raw piece of meat out,
pea to meat.
you have that raw piece of meat outside,
Well, got that raw pea meat.
and flies would just form from it. But that was because that was anecdotal evidence that they were observing. They're like, I left meat out, there's flies.
What
What
about
they didn't realize is that flies were landing on it, laying maggots inside it, and these maggots were becoming flies.
So, okay.
And this was before. This was long before germ
that's fine.
theory
That's
and
fine.
such.
But in we had
Go on.
we threw some meat out in the refrigerator because we left it out in the refrigerator too long. We're like, fuck. So we didn't use it. So we threw it in the trash. Didn't take the trash out for a few days. Go to take the trash out, and it rips. And there's maggots all over the floor.
A fly got in and laid some
So you
eggs.
think a fly got in there and then fucking somehow got out?
Yep.
Maybe not even got out. I mean, you'd have to look through the entire trash.
I mean,
because
because the trash can does have a lid, too. So it's very
they're
like,
never perfectly sealed.
no, they're not. No, I'm not saying it was
Right.
fucking it happened. I'm just saying like you really think a fly got in there? You just
Easily.
like yeah. So maggots don't just form
They can
out of meat.
think people are you visualize a fly in your head and you think it's this rigid structure, but they can squish down pretty small and squeeze into
Just to
things.
get into shit.
Oh, yeah.
Right, but they're so small you don't see them doing that, so you wouldn't think they would. You think that's what
What
it
if
is?
it happened while you were asleep?
I mean, flies are active at night.
Oh, right, yeah, for sure. No, I
Well-
mean like you don't like when you look at a fly, you don't actively like see them like squeezing
Right.
because they're so small. To where a rat or like a mouse, you can see them like
They-
fucking like condense their body to get into a
Right.
small place, and you're like, oh, how did it fit in there?
Right.
The fuck was that? And they do
But-
it so fast.
But they'll go around. They'll try to find where the scent's coming strongest from, and they'll flip in.
Dude, I had crazy. I thought my house was cursed one year, and it stemmed from this moment.
Like Amityville Horror Curse.
Because the moment I brought it all back to that moment of the ripped bag with the maggots that fell on the floor, was all of a sudden we had this fly infestation in our windowsills, like in our windows. So like we had our windows shut, and in the kitchen, both windows. Then we go to our dining room, both windows full of flies.
Ew.
Full. Like I had to go outside
Hell
and
yeah.
like I'm like trying to spray them out, and then I'd like open the screen, and we'd get them out, and then they'd be full again.
Man, Maggots don't take long to
fucking
become to flies.
full
like a day,
again.
like 24 hours.
Yeah, but I mean, there wasn't like there was fucking a million maggots that fell on my floor. We're talking like
They also
like 10.
reproduce really quick, though.
Right, that's why I said. Well,
Thousands of
we
eggs.
must have had like one or two we didn't see, and they got away. And then, but it must have gotten into the window. It was only in the window. Like our house was fine. Like I wasn't sitting on the couch batting flies.
When
it
I
was
was
only
doing-
in the windowsills.
When I was doing my autopsy internship, we would sometimes get decomposing cases where they're in advanced stage decomp, everything's bloated, the skin's slipping off,
Ugh.
and they would bring thousands of their wiggly friends with them. So whenever we were
Oh.
finished putting the case back into the cooler, we would have to go on a maggot hunt. And
Oh, really?
yeah, well, because if you let the maggots grow to adulthood,
Right, yeah.
then the morgue has flies, which could perpetuate an even worse problem.
Oh, yeah.
So every maggot you saw, you had to step on it.
Yeah.
Even the really big squishy ones, it's like, oh, this is gonna be bad.
See, I would almost design my floor as like just strictly cement slab that like curves up at the end like that, so that way there's no nooks and crannies that motherfucking.
Oh, they'll find a
maggot
way to
can get.
hide.
But
There
I
were
mean,
some
like,
times where,
but
like,
if
I
you
had
make
to
your
go-
floor like,
I had to push boxes out of the way and be like, oh, there's another one. Squish.
oh yeah.
Like they
Now I want an
will
English
find
muffin.
a way.
There's all the nooks and crannies.
all the nooks and
Ew.
crannies of an English muffin.
I am never gonna look at an English muffin the same way again.
Why?
Thanks.
Why? What's wrong?
What did you just say? Nooks and crannies.
Oh,
2 and 2 together here, Kyle.
2 and 2. Yeah, but I love fucking. I just can't understand that. I love English muffins. I'm not one of those people that you say something gross about something and I get turned off.
Yeah.
I'm
still
joking.
want
It's like an 80-year-old
Still
woman's cleavage.
it. Still want
Nooks and
Some
crannies.
critters.
nooks, all the nooks and crannies. Jesus Christ. It's been just
Hell
like,
yeah.
you support the theory of like not wearing a bra will like teach your boobs to like not sag when you get older.
I don't know if that's true,
'Cause
but
of-
I fully support it.
Right. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. Like, say if your arm was supported all your life, like you walked around with like a little stand.
The
there.
muscles atrophy.
And then all
If
of a
you don't
sudden,
use
one
it,
day
it
you don't
shrinks.
have it. You,
Let those puppies fly.
that motherfucker gonna slide down. You know?
But yeah, the muscles and everything, they atrophy. In other words, if you're not using it regularly, it shrinks. You know, so the more often you go without a bra, it supposedly, you know,
Right.
your muscles are getting used to being used again.
Yeah. So whenever possible, you should just go without a bra.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Take
Should.
off the bra. Take off the bra. This is the Howard Stern show now. That guy was
Take it off.
take it off. Let's see
We
how many
already
ping pong
see-
balls you can push out of your pussy.
It's on Flickr, everybody. You just go to-
Thanks.
To all three of our viewers.
Yeah. We're not live this time, bud. I put myself
Yeah, I
through
had
that
to roast
stress.
you about it. Like, you're on a show with only 3 viewers, and I'm one of them.
Yeah, I know. It's like, dude, I don't know.
I didn't
dude,
mean to
it was
jab
honestly-
you, I
no.
promise.
It was
more so a jab
honestly,
at him.
it was honestly, I should do more because that was one of the best performing posts on that page of all time. Because it had a lot of engagement afterwards, like, because you know your lives stay there, like people can go watch them afterwards. That's why people say they do lives. Well, you can watch it later. I'm like, yeah, but if you record it, then you can have your thumbnails, you can have whatever you want. You can have it all ready. That's what I like. But but it was one of the best. It had a shit ton of engagement and views and stuff afterwards, and it was good. It's a good time. It's just everything's live, so you can't cut anything out,
Right.
which is fine. I don't cut anything out of this besides like a pee break, but we have 2 people today, and so we don't have to cut anything out.
Mwahahaha. The ghost believer and the non-believer.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe in fucking.
That's it. Sit. You want to
That's his
fuck?
main motivation in life. That and chemistry.
You want to fuck? It's my main motivation.
Kind of
Fuck.
trying to
All right,
blow
I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. All right, this is over.
This is over then. So we're done here? So we're done. Okay. Move on. Back to ghosts.
Also, here's my Snapchat. It's in ghosts and stuff.
Ghosts and stuff. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Oh,
Ghosts. Isn't this a ghost song?
No.
It's not 80s enough.
okay. Those are just the random EDM moment.
No, I did
yeah.
finish
We're
watching
kind of
that.
doing that every once in a while now.
I forget
EDM
her
break.
name, and I'm sorry, but I finished watching that episode where the lady was talking about paranormal and whatnot. I'm like, I can kinda
Kathy?
relate. Yes, like I can
Kathy
kind of
Conrad.
relate to some of these stories.
Yeah, she was great. Like, cause she's got like I don't know, almost 40 probably years now doing that shit. Can't imagine.
I've just only had like a handful of experiences throughout my life, but even like my mom and mostly my mom, like, and both my sisters have had some weird experiences in their life. And it's like, oh,
Come on, grow up, bro.
that wasn't an innuendo.
I want to be in yo endo.
Actually, no, that reminds me, because my dad, he wasn't much of a believer. He was.
How does that remind you? I want to
reminds
be
me
in
of
your
Daddy.
I want to be in your endo. That reminds me. My
of Daddy.
dad. My
That
dad.
came out wrong. That came out wrong. Oh my god.
Perfect segue.
No. No, because I know how I said that usually like the women in my family have had experiences, but
Yeah.
no, my dad actually had one too. There was always this thing growing up that my dad would say, I don't believe in the paranormal, but I believe in things that can't be explained yet. And that was his
That's what
thing.
paranormal is.
Right.
It's
So
aliens.
He
everything.
told us the story of how when he was serving in the Navy, this was one of his assignments with his crew. They're scuba diving. They knew the exact coordinates and everything. And within 24 hours, they double and triple checked their coordinates. Everything had changed. The wildlife, the rock formations,
Were they in
everything
the
was.
Bermuda Triangle?
Yes, they were. And
The Bermuda Triangle is moved.
I was like, Dad, you were in the Bermuda Triangle. He's like, nothing happened. I'm like, you literally just told us a story that something happened. He's like, no, it's not like that.
It's in Florida now.
What?
The Bermuda Triangle has moved, and it's now in Florida.
In Florida.
Just in Florida.
Just taken
I
over.
mean-
It's just a triangle. It's just floating.
You can fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
It's off the coast of Florida, though, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I think it's in
Coast of
Florida
Florida's
now.
Part of it.
I mean, have you
Florida-
fucking seen Florida?
No, dude, I've actually never been there. Never been to Florida.
You heard the shit that comes out of Florida?
Mm.
It's in Florida.
Oh yeah, well you hear the shit. Yeah,
Bless
yeah,
Florida's
Florida,
heart.
man.
To
Yeah.
the people who have brain cells that still work, I am so sorry.
Probably not from all the iguanas that just like fall down and like kill people. That's
This happens.
yeah, that's rare that they die, but there's definitely lots of iguanas that fall.
Could you imagine? Like, that's how you go out.
Yeah, a fucking iguana fell on my head.
Death by iguana.
Death
Like, all the
by
crazy
iguana.
shit you've done in your life, and you're like, this
And
is
yet-
how
Yeah, that just means like nothing's taken you out yet successfully. So God's just like
life is.
And yet,
crazy.
it would be considered death by natural causes.
natural.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
this is
there's
totally natural. to
There's,
have
I
this
think,
iguana
5
fall.
categories
It happens.
of categorizing a death. There's either suicide, homicide, natural causes, undetermined, and something else.
Iguanacide.
Oh yeah, you would know this.
Yeah.
What's the something else?
I forget, actually.
What would you? How would you frame that for Google? The 5 causes of death.
Yes, the
All
5
right.
categories
All right,
of death.
5 causes of death.
If an
John.
iguana jumps on your head and you die, and the iguana dies, is it like murder suicide?
No, it's just natural causes for both, right? Murder, suicide. Fuck you! Oh!
Oh, my lord.
Like it was total accident for the iguana. Yeah, like I totally meant to kill that guy.
They do
but
it on
not
purpose.
myself. I didn't want to kill myself, but
It
here I
was
am.
I mean, look at their
either-
dead eyes.
Yeah.
I think now that I think about
Half
it,
of them are like still alive when they fall.
natural accident, suicide, homicide, undetermined. Okay, so it is
And
accident.
pending? Pending?
Oh, so there's 6. We were only taught about the first 5.
The fuck is pending?
I don't think
we
pending
don't
counts.
know
It can't
yet.
be determined yet.
Yeah,
There needs to be
unknown
further
cause of
testing.
death.
So natural, accidental,
homicide, suicide, and
Auto asphyxiation.
Undetermined. That's still just another one like pending.
yeah,
just
I
don't
think
know yet.
undetermined is either they've tried like every possible prediction.
Click the link, John. Maybe that like
Hooray, forensic anthropology.
Maybe we'll go in more
Autoerotic
detail.
asphyxiation.
Okay, yeah, there is. So what does undetermined mean?
I think it means they haven't
It
determined.
is listed as the manner of death. You can read.
Manner of death classification in only a small number of cases each year. Undetermined is an appropriate designation for cases that have very little available information about the circumstances surrounding the death. Example would be partial skeleton remains.
That's how I want to go. I want it to be a complete mystery.
And pending may be listed temporarily on the death certificate for cause and or manner when additional investigation information and or test results are required for certification. So if they're testing for drugs or poisons, it would be listed under pending until they get the results back.
But but if they had more information, then it would be.
It would fall under the other four.
Yeah.
Do.
There you go. More you know.
Fucked to death. Is
So
it murder?
That would be murder.
Is it murder?
That would be
Yes.
murder.
Or is it
It would
is
probably
it
be
accident?
murder.
Accidental.
Yeah. What if? Yeah. Well, it would all come down to a jury.
Intent.
Sure.
Probably.
Intent.
If you're Johnny Depp, if
I
you're
mean,
you,
if you
you're
got
just
if you
going
got,
to jail.
If you got a 14-inch dick and a 5-foot chick, and you just
14-inch
going
dick with a 5-foot chick.
I mean, is it manslaughter?
Is it manslaughter?
I didn't mean to do
Sorry, my sword was swinging around.
it. Just,
Oops.
it happens.
It unsheathed.
Isn't that called a circumcision?
Yeah, could you imagine somebody with a flaccid penis that was 14 inches long just walking around with a sheath over that thing all day? Be like protect it from getting boners or
That's
something.
like Ted
'Cause you
Cruz as
could, like,
Wolverine.
kill somebody with it.
Instead of claws, it's just like 3 flaccid dicks that come out. Just imagine the sound.
It's just like. Was that the good one? No, that would be an excited one. You gotta give it a couple pumps. A couple pumps to get it out of the shell.
Gotta get them up
Yeah,
semi-hard.
semi.
He's popping a chub.
A respectable. Half-mast.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Anyway, where were we at with your dad and?
So that was one of the experiences
Buttholes.
that my dad.
I remember.
No.
No.
That was one of
No,
the
that's-
experiences my dad had. And I remember one that I had that just, I don't know if it was a mixture of I'm driving at night and I'm in an area that I'm not familiar with, but it was during when I worked at my delivery job. Because it's similar to DoorDash and Uber Eats, but
What is it?
it was called 5-Star Food Express.
5-Star Food Express.
That's what food
And-
is.
Hey, they were actually, that was a fun job.
Sorry, that was good.
But anyway, I had crossed over into the territory of Cohocton Township.
Oh.
And as soon as
sounds
I
spooky.
realized that, I just was like overcome with immense anxiety.
I would
I'm
too.
like, what the hell?
That's just all of Detroit for me.
I'm sorry, I can't relate. I go in Detroit and I'm like, wee, I know where I'm going.
Right.
You, on the other hand, would be
Not me.
absolutely terrified.
I'm like, I'm way too white for this.
you need to rely on a GPS.
I
But
don't belong here.
No, what ended up happening was as I'm driving to this customer, I can't shake the feeling at all of this immense dread. And it's like I'm driving down a dirt road, there's trees on either side, it's at night, there's no streetlights, and I'm driving with my brights, and
That's like my hometown.
still is not, it's still super dark out there. I can't see anything beyond the trees, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Why am I suddenly so scared? And I find my customer, I drop their food off, and I am like driving 15, 20 miles above the speed limit just to get out of this territory, because that feeling has not vanished whatsoever. It dissipates slightly when I get back to downtown Howell.
You think you just said like some Taco
Right,
Bell.
finally, I'm back in the hood where it's
Right.
safe.
Yeah. I know my way around.
But it was a 40-minute drive home. Fast forward a few hours, I'm home, I'm a couple drinks in, I've even smoked, and I'm still not completely calmed down from whatever the hell it
Jeez.
was. And so the next day,
Was
I'm
this
like,
pre or post ADHD?
this was pre-ADHD.
I might play a factor.
So I decided to do a little go-go gadget Google the next day, like, why the hell is Cohocton Township so damn freaky?
Cohocton.
Oh, where I was driving
word
was a
again?
couple miles away from where the former Grand Dragon of the KKK lived.
The Grand what?
The Grand Dragon, like
That's what they're called?
That's like the leader dude of the KKK.
The Grand Dragon?
Yeah, that's what they're called.
I mean, for being such a shitty group, they have some pretty dope fucking titles.
The Grand Dragon. Really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that. I didn't know
But
that's what the
it
leader. I
was-
thought it was just like the
Bullshit that
leader.
they
it
took
was
that,
a
they
couple
coined that
miles
shit,
away from
now I
like
can't use
where
it.
he used to hold his cross burning rallies and whatnot. I'm like, that explains a lot.
Really? Yeah, that'd be a
So-
lot of from like the cross burnings
Yeah,
and shit. So would
so-
they do like lynchings and stuff there?
I couldn't tell you. I didn't dig much into it, but I ended up learning the hard way
likely.
that apparently that area of Michigan is like, it either was or is a hub for the KKK.
And what exactly was
Is
the
that
county
isn't
again
that the
you
street
crossed
that
into?
Tim grew up
Livingston.
on?
Livingston.
What?
So it sounds like the street Tim grew up on.
That flew over my head. What?
I don't know. It sounds like it makes sense.
All the racist stuff.
Yeah. It makes sense.
But yeah, that was just like one of the ones that I experienced recently, and some of my experiences, they go back like even when I was a teenager.
But you're just like a believer, though.
I do believe in
just like
spirits and
total
whatnot.
all in.
She's a
I
believer.
do. Yeah. I'm not a believer.
She believes.
Believes. Are you
What?
a believer?
But if you had asked
Straight
my
up, my
sisters
man.
or whatever, we, for the most part, most of the people in my family, we do believe in spirits, but I can't necessarily say that everybody's had some of their own experiences. But
Right.
myself, there's a few that will come to mind where I'm like, oh yeah, that one happened, and that one was pretty freaky. So,
You guys didn't see the ghost? This is all ectoplasm.
oh shut up.
Spooky ghosts.
Yeah, no, I
Spooky, scary skeletons.
I guess I believe the shit out of all of it, but I still I'm like very skeptical about everybody's
And you should
evidence.
be. You should
I don't
be.
like there's people that are like really all in on shit.
I would
And I'm
believe
just
the
like-
science first.
You know, like people that'll jump on stuff like doing an investigation, they're like, oh, this has got to be a ghost, or this is this is what's happening here, and it's like, well, hold on a second, could that,
When
there
it
is
comes
some-
that
to-
sound in this 100-year-old house. It's
like
settling.
let's not jump right to ghost,
Right.
please, you know?
And that's why I actually loved the show Ghost Hunters, because they tried to debunk everything, and
Yeah.
very rarely would they actually say, no, there is something actually going on here.
No, see, I hated
know.
Ghost Hunters because of that.
Really?
Yeah, I like Ghost Adventures. They gave me
Ghost
the good
Adventures
shit.
was fun.
They gave me the good shit.
Well,
and I
there
fu-
was one episode of Ghost Hunters. There was one episode of
shit
Ghost
I
Hunters.
Give me the shit. Give me the shit. Got any more?
They
Got any more
were,
evidence?
they were investigating this old hotel down in Arkansas, and it used to be like a morgue or whatever, and they actually caught on, I think, infrared or heat sense camera or whatever. They caught an apparition from like the rib cage up, and it was wearing like a Confederate hat and everything. Like you could see this perfect silhouette of somebody, and they could not recreate what they saw. They're like, oh,
They were caught
Seeing-
faking evidence though.
I heard that.
you
That's
and-
why they were taken off TV for so long.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, taps.
Makes
That's what.
sense.
That's what the group was tabs.
Yep.
And ghost hunters.
Ghost Adventures.
Yeah,
they have
like
a bit
proved that they fucking like had a little string on something. They pulled it just could get the fucking evidence,
Right.
and then they put it out there, and then it was proven that it was physically impossible.
I mean, I think
Or whatever.
most TV shows are
They
going to be
found
heavily.
Same with
Yeah,
Ghost
but
Hunter or Ghost Adventures.
though is the exact opposite to where it was like one of their first episodes where the brick was thrown.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking?
I think so. Yeah.
It was like an upstairs attic area, and they walked in, and this brick was launched towards them, and it was sent to like bunches and bunches of scientists and people that like broke down the video, enhanced it, did everything they could to look at it, and they're like, "There's no way that was possible to happen."
Yeah.
So they're immediately like credited with that, and then after that, then
Some
you
of
get-
it's I do believe that, especially with Ghost Adventures, some of their stuff it's made for shock value.
Oh
Do I
yeah,
believe
yeah,
that-
for sure. You got to make it entertaining.
Exactly.
You got to add the whoa with the
I mean,
B-roll of the doll there, like
It's the
yeah.
fucking entertainment industry.
Right.
It's got to be there.
Yeah, well, you have to. You're not gonna get. Could you imagine like how many investigations they go on though, and they don't get nothing.
Exactly.
You have to make an
to
episode-
watch though, where they go on there. Yeah, we can find shit.
Yeah, they're on the hook for like 42 minutes, so they need to make 42 minutes out of
Worth
some
of entertainment.
entertainment value to like So then a lot of times you'll have episodes too where it's just a bunch of history, and you're like, all right, let's get to the fucking evidence. Let's get to the
Exactly.
investigation.
And
You're
it
like, why haven't they got
comes
to the
find out there
investigation
isn't
yet?
any.
Give
Well,
us
there's
meat.
they just didn't come up with shit.
There
Did you
was-
see that fucking Zach Bagans now? Like, I don't have like the Discovery Plus or whatever they're on, so I don't watch it. But he's like doing them virtually now.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, like there's like some shit now. He's like doing like the guys are like have him on like FaceTime or some shit because he's like going through some. There's some sort of backstory to it that I don't know because I didn't care
I'll
enough
have to
to
look into
investigate.
that because I
'Cause-
kind of liked Ghost Adventures.
Yeah, I like them too, but I can't watch them because I haven't had cable in forever.
It's all on demand
and,
now.
and
You
now
have
it's
to
all
pay
on
for a
demand, so
streaming
I don't
service.
pay for that service, so I can't watch them now either. So
Right.
whatever, I just get fucked.
There
but-
was one instance.
Yeah, I just fuck. If they're on YouTube, I watch YouTube more than
I
anything.
think there are some full episodes of Ghost Adventures on YouTube, but you'd have to look.
I've seen the full catalog up until I got rid of cable. So I mean,
Right.
I loved Ghost Adventures for sure. But so yeah, I guess there's some backstory to it. Probably some, whatever. But yeah, he's like doing them virtually or some shit. I'm like, you can't. Like, no, dude, you're the host guy. Like, you're the
Right.
dude.
You're the main guy. What are you doing?
Right. Yeah. We looked up a video one time of him. He was on Wheel of Fortune.
Seriously?
Yeah, there's a video of him on Wheel of Fortune, like from a long time ago when he's like really young and he was there with what was his sister or something like that. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, dude.
Did he do Zach
Bagans.
Bagans.
Little Zach Bagans.
But
Yeah, I'd
I've
like to go to
always-
his museum.
Same.
That would be really fun. Where's that at again?
I think it's out
It's
in
like
Las Vegas. Don't
Las
quote me
Vegas.
on that though.
Vegas, yeah.
I'd like to
probably.
visit just to
He's got like the Annabelle doll and shit too, doesn't he?
He
Or
also
not?
has a Dybbuk box, which
Yeah,
scares
the
the
Dybbuk box.
If you've seen The Possession and there's like one, The Unborn, like those delve into the mythology of the Dybbuk, and I'm like, no. I will put up with like any type of poltergeist you can throw at me, but the moment we're involved with a freaking Dybbuk, no, I'm good.
How about the
I got your Dybbuk right here.
where is it?
Rim shot.
So how about that solo there's like that special he did like of that one house. Did you is it the Devil's House? The Devil House? Did you
It's
watch
been a
Ghost
long
Adventures,
time
John,
since
or
I've
no?
seen this.
Not really in it. There's like one like it's like sort of like a special or something that he does. I don't know. I'm butchering this, but there's like a piece of evidence in there that I see, and I was like, "Holy fucking shit!" Like, did he fake that or what? Because you can like almost you see like something go across like some demon type thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see like the full body, but like because he was like, of course. Oh, yeah, the
What
camera,
was that?
The camera's on its side, and you just see this thing like walking across, and you're like, God, but that's fucking real, like.
I think he's gonna have sex with him.
Yeah, he'll do whatever he wants to him. But there's that one I
That's a
always
sexy
keep in the back of
ghost.
my mind. I'm like, I don't know if that's real or not, but
anything that I end up experiencing in life, like as far as paranormal or potentially paranormal, I kind of think like my dad first and then like my mom second, where I try to see if I can recreate what I saw or explain away what I'm feeling. And if there's nothing that happened to like trigger why the hell am I suddenly afraid of where I'm at, what's going on, then I'm like, okay, maybe there's some like negative energy here that I'm picking up on, you know?
See, I
So-
usually just go, huh, and then I move on.
It's because you feel nothing.
See,
so-
I did that for a while here. I did that.
That was crazy.
There's
Anyway.
here we get we'll be downstairs. Kids are in bed, and we'll get like footsteps upstairs going across the floor. So for a while, I just say like, it's got to be the cat or something, and you know, so I'd go upstairs and I couldn't find the cat really. So I'm just like, well, I can never find my cat, right? Half the time, my cat's underneath our bed in the box spring. So, so I'm like, whatever. I don't know. It's a lot of time. That's what I'd say. So then we kept the cat down here, and we heard it. And the kids are in bed because we have a little camera thing.
The nanny cam.
Little thing, yeah. You can see where they're at and shit. See if they're moving around. They're dead ass asleep, and we can hear like footsteps, like, doom, 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 like going across the floor. And I'm like, you know, it sounds like it could be the cat, right?
You see what
But
God
when you
just
have the
did to
cat down here, though,
What?
You see what God just did to
you
us?
see that. So that's
That
the
wasn't
kind
God,
of,
that was you.
you know,
You did
that's
it.
the most like
Narcotics agent.
realist shit I've ever really experienced besides being out on like an investigation. I've done a couple of investigations and I've gotten some shit. You've heard of Mouth Cemetery?
Mm-mm.
Oh, probably not because you guys are over on that side, but it's a cemetery probably around Grand Haven, Muskegon area or something north of here. And yeah, we were out investigating there one time, and we asked, you know, if there's anybody here, can you make a sign? Can you, you know, maybe, you know, touch one of
Show us that
us,
ass.
throw something or whatever? So we heard like a
Come on,
rock.
show me them ghost titties.
So we heard like a rock thrown out in the woods because there's woods that surround it, and I was like, I don't know if that was it, you know, like something could have happened. It was
Branch could
just
have fell, an animal could have ran off.
animal, whatever,
Right.
whatever. So I was like, if that was you, can you do that again? And we had a fucking rock go like right by our fucking head, dude, right by our head. And it landed right next to us, like a little rock, but we fucking ran right back to the car. And I was like, holy shit,
I got a
dude.
confession to make. That was me. I was hiding in that grave. Threw a rock at you.
It was me.
I
me
had
the
one
whole time.
experience when, and I wish I had some, I don't know. I had this experience when I was a teenager. I was 17, and I saw an apparition, like just the face of something, unfortunately, while I was in the shower.
Whoa.
And
Get out of here, I'm showering.
Hey,
like the longer I
I'm
looked,
naked.
it was this face that I could see cheekbones, I could see eye sockets, like I could see like details of this thing, and I'm like, what the hell? The longer I looked at it, it kind of like shrank back and it kind of faded out. And my first reaction, and I said it out loud, I'm like, a little privacy would have been nice. So, but I
I mean, to be
immediately
fair-
tried to recreate what I saw. You know, was it water in my eyes? I like faced into the shower stream and nope,
Yeah,
didn't recreate.
no.
You gotta pay for this
was
content, buddy.
Yeah.
Was it a reflection? Like, what's going on here? And I couldn't recreate it. Unfortunately, about 20 minutes later, to this day, I got the only bloody nose of my life to the point where I actually pulled a blood clot out. So,
I mean, to be
and I'm
fair,
like, wait a minute.
If I were a ghost, I'd probably show up in unsuspecting women's showers. I mean, what else are you gonna do?
I
You
gotta
gotta
That's
turn it in.
because
gotta
you're
pee.
a voyeur.
I gotta pee. All right.
I'll be up in your shower in a minute.
Anyways, so this is a recent investigation I went on with Tommy Tombstone here. He's does a YouTube channel, Tommy Amongst Tombstones, and does a lot of like Michigan paranormal investigations and stuff like that. That's just my kids running up.
Oh,
there.
I know.
Okay. we got some pretty good stuff while we're there. Play it from here, John. I'm not exactly sure where we're at, but well, before you play it, we're at the Morris Performing Arts Center in South Bend, Indiana.
Okay.
And nobody's ever done an investigation there before, but it's over 100 years old. So I got invited to go, so I'm just an extra. We're in one of the dressing rooms off the stage, which is one of the original ones that was there. And all right, go ahead and play. Let's see where we're at here.
It's down there. Really?
So you're using a spirit box here.
Yes.
Yeah, really. Just touch that ball down there.
Yeah.
The door's closed. Yeah, it is.
So we have a cat ball right below us to the left, right by a door that's
Can
closed.
you open it for us? You want to open the door? Open the door. That makes sense. It's like they can't come in because the door's closed?
Right.
Is that what you're referring to? Maybe you want us to open the door? You want us to open the door for you to let you in?
Will you?
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna open the door for you.
Will you come in if he opens the door? Go ahead and open the door. And forget it.
And forget it.
Shit.
Come on.
As soon as I opened the door.
That is a
Come on,
salty
we opened the door. Can you
ghost.
come in here
As
with us?
soon as I opened it. So
That
now
is
we're
one
down.
salty spirit.
We're down in one of the dressing rooms downstairs.
My name is Tommy, and I'm just here to figure out who's in this theater still.
All right, so hit there's like a 30-second button. Yeah, just keep hitting that. Hit it again.
Or a shout.
Keep going until I say stop. So these cat balls, so these cat balls that are on the floor, they only light up if somebody touches it, right? So this listening back to an EVP. Hit the 30-second again. I want to get to where it actually.
What was that?
All right, 10 seconds
Holy
back.
Shit.
What the hell?
What the fuck was that?
It sounded like somebody
Holy
screamed
shit.
or yelped.
Dude, that's giving me
Somebody let out a
goosebumps, dude. What the hell, dude? What the hell?
Nothing like that happened.
Dude. It's like a girl. This is the men's quarters, right?
Yeah. I don't even know if that sounded like a shh.
You hear that? Where was it at? Dude, that...
Oh, it takes forever to get to it.
This device right here, you can say something into this and that you're here as well.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, it's really weird. So you can pause it. So like we went back and like we went to like the recorder and I recorded him like smudging his finger on the table, doing anything we can try to do to like recreate that sound, and none of us heard it audibly when we were talking. And then I got more clips of like we're down in that same room. There's like a shower room and have the cat ball in there and it's going off and nobody's touching it, and it like won't stop. It won't shut off. Like it stayed on for minutes, and this thing will only, like, if you touch it, it'll only stay on for like 5-10 seconds or something. It just stayed on. I mean, like
The
we
only
were
thing that
getting
I
some
could chalk up with the cat balls is sometimes they're made really cheap, so
right.
it could be a short.
Sure, could be.
But
So then
if it
that's
wasn't doing that before, why is it doing it now?
right. And then we thought, well, we're in a bathroom, shower room. Maybe it's us talking. Maybe it's the vibrations that are so we just shut up, and it still turned on. And then he brings out his like little it's like an EMF type. It's one of those types. It's not an exact one, and it like it'll make like one sound. It'll be like ee, like when it gets to a certain setting. This thing played us a song. It was like is like going like we're like, what the fuck is going on here?
Neat.
Yeah, he looks at me. He's like, boy, you came on the right fucking investigation, dude, because we haven't had shit in like the past 3 or 4. You know, I'm like, wow.
See, I want to actually go on a investigation just so I, like, even if nothing like
Just get a
concrete
recorder.
happens, I want to do it.
Get a recorder and go to a freaking local cemetery and have yourself a ball, because
Yeah, one of my friends asked me
what
recently
we
what my
did.
stance on orbs are, and I'm like, I would probably just chalk it up to dust.
yeah, 90%
sorry,
of the
not
time,
sorry.
95% of the time, it's dust.
Yeah, or a bug or something, or it's cigarette smoke. It's like, no. Sometimes ectoplasm or spirit clouds or whatever. It's like, that's somebody smoking, or that's somebody's breath in the frosty air. You're gonna have to really show me a lot of backup evidence that shows that is not frost, that is not smoke.
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
It's really, really hard to tell. But like in that Kathy one, when she came in, she had her picture. Did you get to the part with the picture?
Mm-hmm. The person looking like they're wearing a dress or something.
Or like I thought it was like a soldier looking thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like that's crazy there. So yeah, what do we have here? So we better get into this. You brought
got
this
some
before
boxes.
because
I
we
brought
gotta
things
wrap
to
this up
play
here
with.
soon, because we're like 2 hours and people are gonna start falling off like a cliff. So we
Right.
better get to this.
So,
I've learned.
It happens.
so what I have here is actually 2 different sets of runes, which are divination tools. In the purple box, we have witches' runes, and in the green box, we have Viking runes based off of the Elder Futhark alphabet.
Okay.
Because there's a couple different versions. But Jordan here made sure that some of my own artwork actually was engraved into it.
Okay.
Now, these, I would have to pull up my app that tells me which rune is which and what it represents, but there's 13 here. And in the Viking runes, there's 26. This is also my artwork on
So what is the rune again?
It represents letters, or they're an individual letter, but they also have certain aspects that they represent. Like, for example, let me
What's this
find.
one?
That's the unknown. Where is Degas? There it is. This means like humanity.
Okay.
One of the things it represents. And then we have algae. Is that algaes? It represents like protection and stability and stuff like that. And then we have Manaz, which also means humanity in a different form. I think Degas means humanity, but I know Manas does. So there's each different one represents a certain thing. Let me pull up my app. That is not the right section, Tara.
You see that better now, John? There. Now you can
Book
see
of
it better.
Rings.
I had to stop so video could see these
You are
better.
totally fine.
So
you can explain
So
these.
Degas.
so what is this for?
Well, for one, it is one of their forms of writing, because like I said, it's an alphabet, basically.
Okay.
But also, these are divination tools. Like, I would say it's similar to getting your tarot cards read, where, you ask a question, and the reader pulls some runes out, and those runes kind of describe the situation and what they should look out for.
Okay.
So for Degas, I was wrong. It's actually success and prosperity. Things
Okay.
like that. So, but to read them or how to read them, you either grab them at random or bunch them all up in a bag and then grab accordingly after you've mixed them up. That's at least how I tend to read them. But what are you doing?
So what?
Taking
So
out.
so what? So what is this like? So what do you need to?
Oh.
Is this like a?
We should do a shout out for these two real quick because I got these from a guy.
He's like, all right, let's promote real quick.
I got
right in
these-
the middle of your question. Let's
He's
promote.
like that.
I got these from an awesome dude named Michelangelo, who's got an Etsy, who's got an Etsy shop called
real?
Little
For real?
Sorcerer, and he had, he's got a bunch of stuff on there, but he custom made these to my
They look
specific.
custom
awesome.
made, and she referenced to the custom engraving.
This is
Yeah,
also my
so-
artwork, and would you believe that the symbol means fuck around and find out?
Really?
Yep.
In
She's
Nordic.
These are all her like sigils.
This
In
means
This
protection.
is Nordic, you said, or what did
Just
you
the-
say?
just
This is
part.
Viking.
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 This actually.
Is that the same? Nordic and Viking, kind of.
I'm not much of a history buff, so that would
I think they're
require a
kinda.
Google search. But
Maybe.
this symbol actually means protection and stability. So
Okay.
These are sigils.
So
They're
what is?
different.
So what would you do with these? So is this for like somebody wants like a like
somebody
this?
asked me a question, I pull some runes, and it's supposed to like help guide them to the answer.
We could-
basically.
You just pull these at random.
We could do a reading for you.
Okay, give me a reading.
We
So
can
what
do this. We got
what do I
tarot
need-
cards,
What do I
too.
need to do? What do I need to
Do
do?
you want your tarot read or do you want runes read? 'Cause
I want to
have-
do this.
Okay.
All right.
Give me a second because I have to pull all of them.
Oh, you
out
have to
first.
pull all of them out.
Yes.
Can't you
See,
just
so
flip
is
it
this
over?
like a total like?
And then
Is
flip
this
them up.
like you have to have? You think you have like an ability or something to do this, or
I
is this
feel
like
anyone with enough practice can probably read them? You
Right,
it
but,
doesn't
like,
require
is it,
anything
like-
paranormal?
yeah? That's what I mean. Like for you to like grab them, is there like some sort of intuition involved in this?
Enter the Tare Normal.
Too bad I can't use that on social media. What's your
can't?
question? I can't because Paranormal's already been claimed like 5 times
Pull,
over.
pull the mic, like shift it back up. There you
Oops,
go.
sorry.
It's already been claimed.
Yeah, there's
I mean,
like a
it
few
is,
people that go by Paranormal.
God dang it.
So what's your question?
Should I stop doing this podcast?
Well, no.
I'll fucking answer that one.
No, I want to see what it says. I got a lot of shit going on, so I was
Do
just
you want
wondering,
one
should I
rune or
eliminate
3?
this? Give me more. I'll take 3.
So I don't look at them when I grab them, so I just grab 3 at random.
Tell me about it.
Ha, ha, ha. Ooh.
Tell me about it.
So we have Degas and also the Unknown.
Ooh.
Enter the unknown.
The God's the Unknown, and what's the other one? Oh, we're going to focus on those 2
I'm
first.
double checking, and
Okay.
my app has
Oh,
an
that's fine.
app.
You can double check.
Skip video. Hit the
I'm
X.
used to this stuff. My wife and her astrology stuff.
So we have
I'm a dinosaur.
Huh?
That's
So- Degas represents success, achievement, prosperity, a cycle of night and day, and time.
And time. Yeah, being the biggest issue.
So let's see.
Takes forever.
Degas is the passage across the sky, blah, blah, blah. So that's what it represents. Then the next one is Nothies. The need, the duty, restraint, necessity, life lesson, and patience. And
It
then
goes
you
along with
have
time.
and then you have the unknown. So pretty much what it's telling you
What's the unknown mean? Just it doesn't fucking know?
is
It's a nice way of saying I don't know.
through
Really? Look it up.
basically through diligence
You have
and
to double check. I don't
patience,
care.
through diligence and time, you pick what happens. I know, it's really vague.
No, yeah, no. Is that way you would interpret that?
Yeah, that's exactly how I would interpret it. Because if I was doing this reading for myself, it's like
John, you got a question? Come on, John, you got a question.
before I put them away.
Ah, come on.
He doesn't want to play.
Ask the
Come on,
runes.
come on.
The runes know all.
The runes know all. So that was the same concept with this one, right?
Yes, but these ones, they're not based off of an alphabet whatsoever. Like each symbol represents something, and then there's like a deeper meaning.
And this was the
behind
what one?
the witch's runes.
The witch's runes.
So give
Which
me
ones?
The witches runes.
The witches.
Which runes?
Har 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 har.
Hardy fucking har.
I mean,
I'll wait to put these away. As long as
I can
have
do
all
it.
26.
she's got tarot cards too. If you want her to read your tarot,
So
they're fancy as fuck.
So before we wrap this up, we should probably shout out for Flask and Lens, right?
Buy Flask and
and
Lens.
I knew I was gonna murder it.
It's okay. I'm not
I
offended.
see your updates. So that's what I meant in the beginning of this. Well, I was like, so what's going on? You got the paranormal, you got the clothing, you got the modeling, you got all that.
As
going
of right
on.
now,
you,
it's
you are
mostly-
basically me 2 months ago. I'm telling you, I am telling you, because I had a scared state of mind. I was like, podcasts, camping videos, urban exploring, music videos.
I've actually kind of debated that it's gonna end up, because I used to have a different like clothing brand name called Pardon My Teeth. And at the start of this year, I kind of just said, you know what, screw it. PMT is not going to go any further than this. And it's kind of a super niche category, and I don't see that going very far.
PMT is what?
Pardon My Teeth.
Pardon my teeth.
Pardon my queefs.
Why is it a niche category?
Because it was strictly revolved around like witchy themed things.
That's
Which I know
why?
there's a market for it, but if that fades out, then so does the brand.
Is that something that interests you, like, overall?
It does.
Though, right?
It does.
Oh,
I like.
You said,
We have she runs them, and we do a bunch of clothing stuff.
Yeah,
It's,
he actually has been coming up with some really clever designs lately, and I'm a little jealous. I'm like, I'm not that clever, but good job, honey.
Yeah, we've got
Still.
a bunch of stuff. It's up for sale.
Fucking
You
take
can
it.
buy it online. What are the websites?
It's
Drop them links.
Drop them.
it is buyflaskandlens.creatorspring.com.
John, bring it up.
I'll have to write it down because there's a bunch of hyphens in between all those words. But
.creatorsprings.com.
.creatorspring.com.
Spring.com.
So, but yeah, there's t-shirts, hats, tank tops, stickers, stuff like that.
Show
But
them some of the designs. Show them some of your.
oh boy,
I think John's gonna bring it up, right? Or no, you gotta send me the link to my fucking Facebook messenger so he can bring it up, and then everybody else can see it.
We have a couple shops.
John's
We got a couple
like,
shops.
fuck
so
no, I
there's-
can't find.
There, I just sent it to you, and I'm waiting for it to go through.
But you have more than one shop. You have.
Well, the other ones aren't like quite up and running yet, so
yeah.
Oh, is your data not working? Did it not send
it's
it?
not. It's not sending it right now.
We had this issue the other day.
I've got-
The basement must be a dead zone.
Yeah, you've got one bar down here. It's not sending. Oh no.
Oh, good. You're on Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
The Wi-Fi's.
Oh, actually, did it send? Got it.
Yay!
Got it.
Sweet. Appreciate you.
So
But
there we go.
yeah, so actually there are a couple of self-portraits up there, but apparently imposter syndrome was like, when I posted it on Facebook, people were like, I need
pretty
this
cool.
as a print.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you. I have my logo up, but that's kind of irrelevant. If you keep scrolling, you scroll away down, there's like a black cat that says do crimes and live lamp love with a moth. So it's funny. There's a bunch of like quirky
It's
animated.
loading it. Is that what that means?
Yes.
Oh.
And it's going slow. There we
Alright.
go. There's some more. Jordan actually came up with a design that says cunt, but it looks all pretty and
Yeah, I
fancy.
seen that one.
Yeah, I'm like, well played, honey. I like that. I want that on a hoodie.
So one thing I'm noticing right now is
Tell me your scary stories.
you wanted to show me this cat thing that you're like you're all about, but it's way down on your
It's
page.
way down there.
Can you reorganize that to get that
If
on
you
top?
go to apparel and click on,
No, like you need to have it on top of this
I
page.
can't rearrange it.
Why?
Because that's how Teespring works. It has nothing to do with me. It's like something that's sold recently. Oh, by the way, that's a histology stain of a kidney. Just so you know. That's my little nerd moment sticking out there. But the way how Teespring does it is whatever has sold recently in your store will jump to the top.
Oh.
And then it'll go back down to where it normally...
Cute, creepy, and kind of witchy.
Yes. But
Yeah.
other
You
than
got
that,
tons of stuff.
yeah, there's a few. Let me actually see if I can pull up
Yeah.
the.
Yeah, if you go
The
to the
cat.
apparel stuff, you can look through the different designs and
Where is the cat? There it is.
necromancy and chill.
Do crimes. Nice.
Do crimes.
I like my most recent one,
There you go.
What was your most recent one?
the geese thing.
Oh, the geese lightning. Go
Yeah.
fucking figure. This is Jordan's creation.
That's ridiculous.
It is, but it's awesome.
Show them the I love
It's on
trees.
you. It's on you. You can show it up there.
Yeah,
I
you
love
can,
trees.
You can show it on the camera. Here you go.
And then we've got I Love Trees, which looks closely. But what I was basically getting at is it seems that By Flask and Lens has pretty much become a like clothing brand, but
Yeah.
in the group we discuss photography and the paranormal and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's going to be splitting down the road or not, or if I just need to take more time and do more research and take more pictures.
Well, you definitely just need to find your niche and what you want to focus most of your time on.
For
So
sure.
whether that's,
But I like both. I
right,
like
right.
photography
No,
and
I know,
I like
for
the
sure,
pictures.
for sure. And this is what you see is actually making some money, right?
It actually has. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not steady income,
No,
but
right. Yeah, well,
I
yeah.
find out pretty quick when there's a sale. I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah,
thank you
right.
so much.
For sure. For
So
sure.
it makes me happy. I mean, overall, like, yeah, it's passive income, but with each sale that happens, I'm still like eternally grateful for the people who have spent their hard-earned money on even just a sticker or a tank top, or one of my friends even
But you
bought
could
one of the
also
pint glasses. So I
you
was
could
like,
also think about this too. This is just me playing devil's advocate for you because you can do whatever the hell you want to do. But you could also look at this as like restaurants that have a daunting menu that you don't know what the fuck to pick.
exactly.
And you have restaurants that have a simplified menu and like here's what the fuck I got. It's a
Which-
lot easier to make a choice. So when you have like so fucking many choices, like we haven't found the cat yet.
Right.
Like it's like daunting. It's like, what do I actually even want?
Which I think what's going to happen there is I'm going to end up
I mean,
removing some of the designs because they haven't sold.
Right. And
Right.
This is like the homepage and stuff. So I mean, if you go and click on apparel, you can go in and
can narrow
look
it
at
down.
stuff,
Yes.
like-
Right. So go
And
to like
accessories if
just-
you're looking for
just women's
stickers.
t-shirts. Just do women's t-shirts. So, yeah, right there.
And then it narrows down the choices.
So then you won't have the mugs and the stickers
Exactly.
and everything else popping up with
Exactly.
it, right.
Yeah.
So you still have, but now you see there's less
There's
products.
12 pages.
12 pages worth, but
Right.
that's also, yeah, just click on the final one. I choose violence.
Is it so? But this is in the last because it's in one of the newer designs.
Yes, it's the
It
one
has-
that I
yes,
most recently
right.
uploaded.
See that I don't like that. Why can't they like put your new designs up
I know,
front?
but like I said, how they do, and I don't have any say. I like the mushroom.
Yeah.
That was one of my designs. But
No, these are good shirts. Like they're not
I
like this is
appreciate that.
this is what you would find on like an ad or something on
There you go.
Facebook. Yeah.
I heart trees.
You know what I mean though. You'd find this you'd find like a cool shirt on Facebook ad or something. You're like, oh, I want that. And then you go to their store and then you see all the other ones like this. This is
Yes.
exactly what that's like.
Well, hopefully. I've contemplated taking out a
You've
Facebook.
contemplated?
Yes! Do crimes. So says the Black Kitty.
All right. Well, so where can everybody find you at? Where's your what's your links? What's your ats?
It is byflaskandlens.creatorspring.com, but there is a hyphen or a dash between each and every one of those words.
Yeah. There's only one period after lens.
And one period between spring and com. So,
Well, yeah, that's kind of given though.
and I am
.com.
also on Instagram as byflaskandlens. So you can find me there if you can't type in the URL for the store.
Mm-hmm.
But we also have some Pride
You got
because
your
it is
link.
June.
You got your link on Instagram too.
Yes.
So
Yes,
just
very
buy
much
Flask
so.
and Lens Instagram, and then the link's right there.
Yep, very
Boom.
much so.
And buy Flask and Lens on Facebook.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, and the Facebook group as
In the
well.
group.
Just
And
look it up on
you want
Facebook.
to
You'll
tell
find
a
us.
cool paranormal story, that's a group that you can go to and definitely tell your story. And
Yes.
yes.
Very much so. And I try to encourage people to
It's fucking
share their
so hard,
stories.
dude. It's so hard.
It is, but
It's
it's like,
so
come
hard.
on, guys, I can't be the only person talking about myself.
It's tell me about it.
Story of my fucking life.
After a while, it just gets awkward. It's like, can I please stop talking?
Well, this was a really good time.
Yes.
I'm glad we had some good stories, some good tips on modeling. You should
Or
catch that in the beginning.
Mostly,
Just a tip,
photographers
though.
don't do this.
Photographers. Yeah, photographers. Well, I mean, as a model, it's the stuff you got to look out for.
Yes,
That's-
it
That
is.
was your advice was more to the models than to the photographers. And the advice to the photographers was just shut the fuck up. There's too many.
That was not, but sure.
No.
It's like if we can tell you edited it.
It's been a long podcast.
Okay. All right. Well, we're just gonna sneak on out of here. Okay.
All right, we got some outro music.
Bye.
Outro.